If we can hear you, which is like hard, right? Because like, well, no, somebody else was asking if they can hear, because yeah. So, you know, Can You Hear Me is a game that I don't think people like. Statistically, people are like against Over My Dead Body.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, people said
Oh, we're just dropping in.
Let's play the love game.
Yeah. Is this the quarterfinals? This is the quarterfinals. Confirmed, like a Don King perm. We're locked in and laser focused for another night of ICL action. It feels like it's been forever, Luke.
It does, right? I'm like, what's happening?
We've been on an ICL sabbatical. So can someone summarize where we are in the current situation? Dang. Okay.
I know. I did tell my husband the other day that the reason that content creators can't take breaks is when they stop, they realize, wait a minute, this is better. So you never take a break. If you're a content creator, never stop making content, because you'll realize, wait a minute, I like having no commitments.
There you go. But it's still fun. It's
all good. I'm just saying that in history, doing nothing is usually a little bit better than doing something.
See, that's where you guys are wrong. When there's no ICL, I like to sit here at my station, locked in and laser focused. I don't take any breaks, and I just wait for the next episode of ICL to come in, and I just want to get this action-packed Lorcana action in my veins immediately, just like tonight. We gotta. Let's go.
I don't know how to tell you this, but Luke is 100% muted.
Dang.
Yeah. I did a check, and I was like, the music was pounding, and I was like, maybe that's like what's happening. And then I looked, and it was, no, there's no Luke. But yeah, so we were jamming, but not to the words, just to the vibes. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Well, what Luke is saying is that we are currently in the quarterfinals, the second round of the quarterfinals, and then after that, we got another round happening on Friday, and then we're going to come back post World, and we're going to finish the rest of the quarterfinals and then the rest of the tournament. Man, I think it's great so far. We got two of the best teams in the league right here: Freedom Gaming versus Enter.
There we go.
The Battlefield, going for all the marbles here tonight.
That's the vibe color. Thanks.
I think it's going to be another fantastic matchup against two high-profile entities out here.
Yeah, and I mean, they're both beloved teams. These are crowd favorites. You know, we have teams that are kind of like, oh, we don't have a Twitter or something. They're just, they're cute and they're local, but these are like beloved teams. I mean, we got South Florida being represented, and then we're going north of South Florida, out of the United States, and just right into Toronto, and we've entered the battlefield, and they're the darlings of the North, the King in the North, darlings of the North, either one.
I like that, and I think it's ironic in there, both of their color groups there. You got Enter the Battlefield, they have the Canadian flag colors being represented as a Canadian team, and you have the red, white, and blue being represented by Freedom Gaming as the American team. So we're playing for more. This is for your country's pride here, as United States versus Canada in this border
There's
battle.
been a little bit of banter between the teams about ETB getting revenge for the Oilers. I didn't even realize that the Stanley Cup was done. I thought there was still a couple more matches. I missed them. I only got to watch 2 of them, sadly. And they were, when I stopped watching, I felt the Oilers were ahead. But maybe I didn't watch as much as I thought I did.
I mean, Luke ruined their chances confirmed. You stopped watching. Yep. They said, what's the point? What are we doing?
They only won when I watched. I guess I need to start watching more hockey.
That's science. I do like that sometimes when people say, you looked away and the kicker missed. I was like, do you believe I am a witch? That I have the power? And maybe.
Ban her!
We have 6 fantastic players that you're going to see and go, oh, I know that one. I love that one. I know that one and I love that one too. And so it's going to be hard. Who we're going to root for, I'm not telling you. I can't say who I think is going to win tonight. Because first off, we got everyone's favorite, never been controversial, always beloved by everyone. It's Habibi. You can't go wrong with Steele's song, but will he play it tonight? We don't know, but he did get top 64 at DLC Fort Worth, top 32 at DLC Toronto, holiday enthusiast, number 55 in the world, Lorcana rank. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it means something.
Did you say 50th?
Does it say 55? I feel like I see the word.
I don't know. I was just wondering. So that is through a website, which
through like some kind of weird thing, some kind of digital
system. elorcana.com, and
where it aggregates the DLC results, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we can talk about that.
And Habibi is ranked 55th with a 17-21, a solid 19-5-15 record.
We should start checking everyone's cards as they come up. Be like, and we're checking. Correct.
Fact check.
That is correct.
Fact check.
Nice. Keeping it 55th Street with Habibi. Beautiful tie. Beautiful. I think he's a groomsman here. He's clearly going to a wedding or some type of event, maybe even a baby shower perhaps. But the bow tie's looking good. I think the player's looking good. Smile's looking great. Huge right swipe for Habibi. Fantastic guy. Fan of him. All right. Doing his thing. We're going to see what he's going to do today. Hopefully he's playing Steele's song. I'd be surprised if he weren't.
He can't. I mean, we have a rule that once you play it like 3 times, you can never do it again. I'm just kidding.
That's
it. That rule. You can play it if you want to.
I would be surprised if he wasn't playing it.
Oh,
I love this photo.
Look at this handsome right here.
The man of many names, by the way. Everybody say your favorite name that he has. He has many, but we know
Pandemonium Heart.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Tell them all about us, Luke. Who is this fine young man?
Let me get out of studio mode so I can actually read the card. It's such a small font. I'm so blind. Top 16 DLC North American Championships. Top 32 DLC Chicago. Winner of the Critical Hit Gaming 1K and the runner-up to the GTA Invitational 2K. We have Joseph Quigley, Pandemonium Heart. Was that hyped enough for you, or is it too much?
I like it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he actually go up a little bit higher. Actually, that wasn't enough. I would
he deserves more. He deserves more because he has secret names, and I learned that there's a reason behind all of them, and I will never... He's allowed to have as many as he wants. That's my one exception. Everybody else pick a name, but Joseph, you can do what you want because apparently he's got names, people know about it, and I support it.
I personally call him the Quigster. I'm looking forward to see him out here getting loose and getting handsome. Very handsome as well. They got a strikingly, dashingly handsome team as well. Obviously, I run a right swipe here as well on Mr. Joe Quigg. Maybe he can come out here and get the dub. I'm interested to see what he's going to be playing today. That's who I'm going to be watching out.
I just want to tease Katie, and you won't let me tease Katie. Let me tease Katie.
No, okay.
The person who has no username shaming someone for having multiple gamer names.
Because I use my name. I'm not afraid. I'm not hiding from the ops.
No.
I'm out here. Caitlin Wentz. Look it up.
That's her user, Caitlin Wentz, and you have like your social security at the end. It's like the number you have. A
picture of my driver's license. Yeah. But then look at this person. He does it all. I mean, JDZ, you got to talk about this man.
I met this man before. You know what I'm saying? I've hosted 2 of the Enter the Battlefield events my own self, and I've got a chance to get to know these Enter the Battlefield players. And Chris is the owner-operator of the main location, I believe, and he is a great player and also a great facilitator of the community. Bubbled in DLC Chicago. We're not going to lead with that one. We're going to put that one way at the bottom, because that's just bad news.
Because that's
front. First place.
How bubbling works.
GTA Lorcana League, regular season 1. GTA Lorcana League season 2, top 4. Definitely got it done there. And he also is going to be the ECL 1.5K top 8. Very handsome. Whoever got cropped out of this photo, shout out to you. Shout out to all the cropped people there. But also the peace sign. Sweater's looking nice. Handsome as ever.
This time.
Right swipe.
We have a graveyard of all the players cropped out. We play like a little montage at the end of the season. It's been a long day. Anyway, but yeah, shout out to Chris. And look at that cool shirt. Very cool.
I like the shirt.
All of it's good. But yeah, that is enter the battle. Now we leave the battlefield.
If we each take turns singing a verse, does that count towards the strike? Is that going to get us strucken down like when JDZ got caught singing?
I don't think they get you for singing.
You sung so well that you got copyright struck?
No, I'm not buying
Someone said it was a stream, but someone's stream that you sang on got struck for it, I thought.
That'd be amazing.
Be something else. That's insane.
So, I bet it's the Goofy. The time you sing as Goofy, because that was, you're like, where the eyeball on the row or something. That's Patrick. Either way.
Well, this is Hazed.
This is Patrick. That's Hazed. So, I'll talk about. Hazed is... he's casted with us, and he plays first place at Miami TCG Con in 2024. Top 8 SSG, 15K tourney, top 128 DLC Atlanta. First one. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Top 4 SCG Tampa 2K. So he's down there just menacing in Florida, and sometimes Atlanta, and then sometimes, but mostly down in Florida.
The whole greater Southeast region is Hayes' swimming ground. Blurple icon doing his thing. Probably one of the best sons I can think of in Diz Lorcana. As his dad is a formidable player as well. So great son player. Shout out to all the sons out there that have a father playing in the game.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure every male player is a son.
Nope. You're only a son if your dad's playing. That's it.
Yeah. Has your dad placed in the top 2 of a tournament recently? I don't think so, unless you're Hazed, or technically Gabe, who has been adopted by Michael Sr.
There you go. Let's go. Right swipe. Oh man, I love this pick as well.
Yeah, this one. Hey, like you feel the energy, you feel the sound.
It's over.
We don't have time. Yeah, sorry.
We love them.
We don't have time.
Studio mode.
We found a swear on it, so we had to move on. No, this is Sploosh Magoo. So Luke, tell us everything you know about this man.
Yeah. Did you already read this?
I mean, I'll do it. It's Sploosh Magoo. Yeah, you do this.
Yeah, I don't like it. You got to be professional. Okay, put your blazer on. Who's muted? Am I muted?
I'm muted because I tried to tell Katie something without them hearing, and I forgot to unmute myself.
Lock in.
Because I'm silly. I read the whole card. We'll read it again. Top 64 DLC Atlanta.
Read it twice.
Top 8 SSG 5K. Top 4 SCG Tampa 1K. And he doesn't like Blazers. Who doesn't like Blazers? Why don't you like Blazers, bro?
Because look how cool he looks.
He does
look at his zip up. He's like, I'm not going to wear a blazer to ruin this cool vibe.
Yeah, it could have looked so much better unzipped and with some collars.
There you go.
Put a blazer under and over it. A double blazer, a sandwich.
Ooh,
too easy.
Welcome to 2004. Frat boys want their shirts back.
Pop that collar for the that has to come back, right? Like, there's no way pop collars aren't coming back.
My hair's too big.
Through the 90s and into the odds.
I believe the pop collar fade will return at some point. I hope not for everyone's sake.
Yeah, for science and for God and country, we hope not, but it could happen any moment. And who's our last player? We saw a little bit, and then we went,
got a little sneak peek. Little spoiler alert. Automatic is in the building. Joey Automatic. I'm sure I said that wrong.
For a second, I thought it just said finalist on the card. And I was like, called shot.
We got the second place SSG case, top 4 Miami TCG Con, and top 4.
Just waiting for him.
Dad, let's go in the building. All the dads out there, shout out to you, rocking and rolling, doing your thing. But you're not the number 1 son. You're just a top 4 dad. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
You're not the best son.
You can't have it all. That'd be crazy.
He lost in the semis, but maybe next year. Maybe next year he'll get the finalist as a dad.
Maybe you can get it done. All right, but now it's time to pick him. We're gonna see who's gonna come on top, and it's gonna be a dogfight. But Katie, what are your selections? Who do you pick Who do you think is going to take this thing down and why?
You hear that? That is a win from the north. And it is ETB. And I like to hedge it and say I don't think it's going to be a blowout because this is crazy. These are some of the best players in all of North America. However, I do think that ETB, I just like them, okay? And I like Freedom Gaming, but they've never had me cast one of their tournaments. So because of that, and because ETB, they have a sword and a shield, and in Freedom Gaming, they just have a shield. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Just do defense all day? You need offense. ETB 2-1. JDZ, what do you think?
ETB 2-1. I think that is I think that's a pretty safe pick, but I think there's more on the line than what we're leading on. I think that this is going to be the United States, okay, America versus Canada. And I think these Americans, you guys got to come strong. You're representing not only yourself, but you're representing your nation, okay? I'm a patriot. I believe in America, okay? And I think you guys got what it takes. But not today, baby. We're going ETB, baby. We're going to the great white north, okay? This is going to be Canada. Canada's taking over. I think ETB is coming in strong with the sweep. Canada, get it done. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Wow. JDZ swapping countries.
Wow. Swapping countries over here.
I think they could actually hear me, so I don't want to say, but
no offense.
Saw the stream.
Nope. It's going to be a blowout, though. 3-0 victory. I'm calling it. Okay,
wow.
2-1.
I fixed it.
Did you add a sword? You fixed it by adding a sword to Freedom Gaming's logo?
No, I had Discord, so they heard Discord
okay.
for
I
a
thought
few
you were going to
seconds
put like a
because
sword
I
and
am...
be like, hey, Freedom Gaming, I don't know if you realize this, but how the heck are you going to win on a sword fight if all you brought was a shield? Oh my goodness, he really did go full Canada. Maple syrup shots for the whole room.
Obviously haven't been watching Shield Hero if you question that, Katie. Come on.
It's a shield fight, just like kind of like slap them at each other. Anyway,
it's a big
you
shield.
gotta...
It's a big shield. Well, see, this is weird. I've been the caster curse. The team that I have rooted for has lost. Like the last 3 times, I think. I don't even know if I should select a team I think should win. That's...
You have to. You cannot not. You cannot get out of this because I did and it was scary and I didn't like it.
Well, I can hear them talking right now about my prediction and the ads started so they can't tell. So
okay, good.
Funny.
Then that means you can say it. So you have a minute to say the most controversial thing ever, and only a few people, the real fam, will know.
All right. We're gonna go for Team America. Yay. We're gonna go for Freedom Gaming. We're all really about the baby. Come on, it's obviously playing. I just didn't want to root for them because now I'm afraid they're gonna lose because I've got that caster curse going on.
That's true. So, but wait, by you doing this, does that mean you've already acknowledged your caster curse and you're trying to tilt the curse so hard that you're even not letting us know that you've done it?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
maybe I'm secretly rooting for ETB, but knowing that if I secretly root for them, then I'm actually rooting for Freedom Gaming. How deep does it go?
But one thing, though, Luke, I will say, and I'm sure you can get this done. We're still in Mario Kart time. We need to switch this thing over.
Oh my God, it's Mario Kart?
We're in Mario Kart time, Lorcana Mario Kart time. Let's
get
that updated.
We're at least in... All right. We're at least
God.
in Lorcana. We're at least in Lorcana.
Let's get that updated. Let's be ETB. Let's lock that on in.
All right, that's updated now. Dude, it's been a week and a half of no streaming, and I have lost my mind.
There you go. We out here. Yeah, it's time. It is time. It is time to enter the battlefield.
Right. Katie, what's freedom?
Yeah. Is it happening?
Katie, did you say your prediction? Did I miss your prediction?
I started with a...
What? I thought JDZ started with Katie.
No, I did a whole win thing. I did a whole thing. I made a bit, and then,
Wow.
How about you take a walk around the block, get it together,
then
come
stuff
back.
really wouldn't get done in time.
That's true. Take a mental walk, whatever, and we're gonna go into round 1, and it's gonna be probably pretty fun because either way, someone is gonna win or draw.
And hopefully, it all looks right when we go over there.
That's a hope that
I
we
can
all
already
have
see.
every day.
I'm gonna be flipping one of the cameras, but I'll let you talk about that. I'll see you all later because I'm not casting anything tonight. I'm watching. I ain't gonna tell you people how to play right before Worlds. No.
Yeah, you figure it out yourself,
Bye.
kids.
Let's get it. And we got Katie and JDZ back at it again, just like we never left.
Here we go again.
And here we go again. Starting this thing off right. Now. We got Habibi versus Hazed. Okay. Blurple versus Amber Steel, probably.
I know that's the thing. If we had to call it, right? I mean, I don't like to do that because, right, we're supposed to be like, oh, what are they playing? What are they playing? But these two players are ones that are very like, they have decks that they love, and it's if they play something else, everyone wins $100. So let's hope they are. But I don't think we're gonna get.
I'd be personally shocked and surprised. What if Habibi has Blurple and Hayes has the Amber Steel? That'd be hilarious.
Cute, that would be very fun and cute, and I think everyone would like that. So
I'd cheer a little deck swap as these players are shuffling up, getting that very important dice roll in. I don't think they're going to dice roll. I think there's going to be rated by seed of who is the higher seed. I think that is going to be into the battlefield, so they'll just be on the play to start, I want to say.
Yeah, and I'm very, very excited about this match because first off, playmat game, incredible. I love, Habibi's got his name on it. Hayes, he'd have to write it with Sharpie, but Habibi already got it on there. And he says, guess what? I'm playing Amber. Maybe something else. It could be anything, but I see two princesses that like to do some stuff. So I'm feeling the Steel Song vibes. Let's see what Hayes chooses to reveal.
And it is going to be that Finders Keeper going down to the Inkwell. No one-cost character. I know Blurple or Sapphire Amethyst, as it's actually called, typically has kind of gotten away from the one-cost characters. But Cindy on one, you probably wouldn't want to play it anyway because Cindy could just nuke the thing as the Troubadour is going to side by side with the Cindy. She gets a free little quest for one in. And here it is. It looks like we are correct in our predictions there, Katie.
Yeah, and now it's time for Hayes. Ooh, inking his second Finders Keeper. Will he get the ramp onto? He does. You have to. Legally, if you don't, you have to scoop in. The game win goes to the other person. But he hits it, inks a goat, and he's just getting ready. So the problem, though, is that Habibi is playing a deck that famously Blurple players kind of fear. Amber Steel Song can it just gets value right off the gate. We saw Cinderella's quested. She's so relaxed that she's just questing. She doesn't have to sing. So what are your thoughts? Do you think there is a situation where, how hard will it be for Hayes to overcome the stigma of Blurple being stepped on by Amber Steel?
I mean, he's on the right track. He did get the ramp in. He has an established character to the board, but I think Habibi is doing everything that this deck wants to do. He's got a singer on 1, a singer on 2, a singer on 3, and the whole new world is active in hand. So Hayes has to hate to see that you have nothing established so far. You have a lot of cards. A tremendous amount of value is going to come back in from this Ariel, who's probably going to get a sing off on the next turn potentially. And there's really not a way that you can stop it. Even on your 4-turn play, you put down the genie, you draw another card. That's just more value that you're going to lose in the interim. So this is going all Habibi's way. But to answer your question, I think it's going to be very difficult for Hayes to kind of overcome the adversity that Habibi has placed before him, just the way this game is shaking out. But I think a lot of things need to go your way if you're trying to overcome this Amber Steel. You play a lot of Amber Steel. When you face Blurple, are you feeling confident when you get into this matchup?
I mean, candidly, during set champs, I got my winning in was against Blurple, and I did Google. I said I have to go to the restroom and Googled, is Blurple good against Amber Steel? And the answer was yes. So I do think, I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at Habibi, he's been generating value and probably is about to rip a whole new world and just say, guess what, more cards, because that's one of Blurple's greatest blessings is just so many spectacular cards. But we do see 2 Finder Keepers already be inked. We know that he might wheel. It's kind of, I feel like you have to wheel early, or like, when are you going to do it?
For sure.
But
now he has this Kita, which is a warded character that's up and active. So that is kind of a great counter to what Habibi is trying to do. Just the keyword of ward. All your cards are going to have that chosen character removal aspect to them. So Kita will get some tremendous value, be able to challenge back into the Ariel if needed, as we're going to go Naveen into the whole new world and blast your ink. So that Kita actually saved you a little bit because it was able to thwart off the Zeus and the Storm Ray Jones. So that's a little upside, but still, this is a very high impact whole new world here.
Yeah, and Kita, she's nice. Like you said, she's got that ability where you're able to kind of ramp and get to you get a look. That's one of the downsides. It's not one of those cards where you're like, and get rid of this bad card. I always hate the cards where you get to see it and you're like, my future is looking bad.
For sure.
But yeah, and now he's got what you would call the perfect curve for a Steel Song deck. Every turn, bangers, hit after hit. Now we do see 2 songs getting wheeled away, but like you mentioned, no use for it right now. Maybe later, and there's probably more in a Steel Song deck that he will find shortly.
Absolutely. And this is the Blurple or Sapphire and Amethyst. Amethyst, Sapphire, Samethyst, Amplifier, whatever you want to call it, Blurple. This is one of their biggest weaknesses. I mean, they do have access to the Monstro. The Monstro as well. I'll be interested to see if Hayes could get to that card in a timely manner and help turn the tides back in their favor. But traditionally, the wide board, they don't have the ability to clear and re-engage back, as Habibi has a whole cavalcade of talented singing sensations on the field. I mean, he can sing for 20 right now, probably. And this is kind of where the game starts to get on his head. But if you just remain calm and maybe get to your end game, if you're Hayes, you could be on your way.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems and benefits is that, removal is kind of the name of the game at this phase. Can you do a lot of it, a little of it? And Hayes, traditionally Blurple, you have some songs like the Let It Go, the Into the Unknown, and you have Hades on the top end, which is very, very popular in the deck. But otherwise, it can be tricky. And so I think that's going to be another complicated thing, is the wider Habibi goes, the more that Hayes is going to have to deal with that wide board. Now, luckily, not a lot of valuable characters have hit the board, but as we know, Steel Song, there's lots of problems that he can come up with here. So I'm very interested to see. We see a sale. He's like, I'll just keep ramping. Just let me get to the good stuff, and it'll all be worth it.
And he does have that Kita ability, which will provide some more ramp for that next turn. So in theory, you could ink twice from the hand, play Kita, and get all the way up to 7 in the Inkwell, going into 8 on your next turn, if my math is correct. So that could be a vibe, but you're electing just to sing friends on the other side, just get some more resources, which I think is a dangerous game. Now you're trying to ask for another whole new world to come on in and just rid the world of some of those cards. So I'd like to see a little bit more rampage here, and maybe you can out-resource them through your Inkwell instead of through the field of play, as Kita is now vulnerable for a challenge.
Yeah, and then that makes me believe that he's like, listen, I got ramp cards, as seen by apparently a second sale at the SRC. He's like, ramp's not my problem right now. My problem is I know that I need some big, beefy answers. So that just makes you think that, yeah, he's like, listen, I'm going to draw a bunch of cards, 2 cards off of sale, 2 cards off of friends. And we're going to see the ink twice, 3 times.
Oh, 3 times. Okay.
Now he's good. You had the sale. So Kita, you're fine. Sing a song. I got 2 sales. We're going to be A-okay. Get that turtle out of here.
Yeah, I actually like that play a lot now. So Hayes said, hold up, let me cook. And you were able to transfer some of the resources from your hand, keeping your hand in a nice moderate range to kind of hedge your bets against a whole new world, but still not completely expire all your resources. And you're able to ramp heavily to just force yourself right into the top end of your deck. And that's when you can get really complex maneuvers and do some really cool things later on. So I like that play a lot coming in from Hayes. Checking the discard, seeing what you got available, a lot of cool things in there. And now Habibi is going to have to make something happen.
Yeah, now Habibi, I don't ever want to be in a top deck battle against Habibi. He's got the sleepiest flute where he charms his deck into saying, come on, the little songs come along. And we've seen him do some very, very spectacular plays where we're like, how is he gonna? And then he does it. But I will say that Hayes kind of showed his hand, so to speak, in the fact that he doesn't have 1-drops, or at least if he does, he hasn't been inking or playing them, which means that scares me. That means there's something out there. There's something in the water, and it's definitely going to be something that Habibi's thinking about this turn. What are these top-end menaces? There's lots of options, some new ones from this new set, some old favorites, and all of them not good. We don't see any items, so probably we're not doing the items package of So Shiny. So there's 1, but then there's about 6 others he's probably thinking about.
No croquet mallet this time coming in from Hayes, as we saw them play the Jafar version, the items version. It's gone all in on Blurple and played every amalgamation and profile and type and all the cards. I'm pretty sure he's played every Amethyst and Sapphire card up until this point and has tried them all. And now he's landed on this build. 6 cards still in hand, which is a pretty reasonable amount. So Habibi might be thinking about, can I flood the board? Can I rip another whole new world right now and just gain a tremendous amount of advantage and continue to execute the game plan? But you understand that you're in that deep water territory now. The top end has been established. You're at 7-8 going into 8.
So here we go. He was thinking, and Lawrence, good choice, and a Mr. Smee. So these are lore that can carry some damage there for the Rapunzel, which is always a nice stall out plan. Is like, listen, can some of you hold some damage here for some card draw? And like we mentioned, the more cards, the harder it's going to be. Now the problem here is now we have this Fox Online, which would easily clean up any of the characters that can quest right now. Is it worth it? He said he made that. He just went and
we are ripping it here. The whole new world comes down number 2, and we're going to blow up Hayes' spot. We lost a lot of resources there. I see that Anna in the deck. I think that's a very interesting include in this build. That might tell the story that you have some more Elsas in the deck. That's something Habibi's going to be interested in. As we do find the storm off the whole new world, we'll blast the Madam Mim Fox, and now we're free and clear to quest some of these glimmers as the board is massive. Monstro the monster as well, one time off the tizzy. If you got it, let's get loose with it. One time for Hayes.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that Anna, which I think is a very interesting card, given that support when you quest for 2 is nice, especially because Blurple, sometimes these characters, a Hades comes down, swings for 3, not super scary. Kita's a 3, Bevel's a 4. So having something with support is always nice to kind of extend the flexibility, knowing that you don't have all the removal in the world, but with support, you at least can make the math a little bit more tenable for yourself.
And that's one thing about that's another keyword that I don't think is utilized to its full capability. The word support, you really don't see it in any meta relevant strategy. I know the Queen used to be played a little bit. You'd see like sometimes people might throw a Ben in there every now and then. I've seen Ben see some play, but you don't really see support at all. So I'm glad to see that someone to see these experiments with it. Like I said, that card is quite good, as you do have a significant amount of Elsas in this color group as well that you can play on a competitive level. I like to see that. Oh, look at this guy. What do you think of that, Katie?
Somewhere Baker just woke up from his sleep in a sweat and said, "Oh my god, it's red again." That's my best Baker impression.
That was pretty good.
Bloody hell. But yeah, Ward, first off, amazing. Because I was looking at it and I was like, world's greatest criminal mind. That'd be so no. Get out of here. That rat has Ward. And it's gonna be a problem because 7 willpower. So you gotta really do some work here. And now all hands on deck.
The rat's kind of good, Katie, and we see him on the board. You do have to think that's a lot of rats. Speaking of gerbils, look at these. We got an infestation. Does anyone have the number for the exterminator? Because I'm scared. Oh my goodness, the board has gotten quite bulky. But the thing about this Ratigan, you got to challenge bodies into him, and we're going to shift a hamster on top of, and then we're going to rip another one again. So trip a whole new world. You got to be kidding me! All for tremendous value. As you are going to lose the big 8-cost Elsa, Spirit of Winter is going to find her way into the Inkwell, and you lose some more resources. Well, all these whole new worlds have hit very effectively. I think this might be tough to come back from.
Yeah, because I mean, Ratigan's cool. He quests for 4, and like you said, he's going to need some resources. But I see a Lawrence, I see a Smee, I see a hamster. I mean, we could work together. We could all, because one rat versus 3 rats and some people. The math isn't good. The math isn't good.
And now he's got such a huge board presence. You could just start questing these glimmers, getting them exerted, and just win the game while you have this rat that's sitting there. He does have a downside. You do have to ink per turn, but you've been whole new world it multiple times. You have plenty of ink available, I believe. You need to get to that monster. If you got monster on your deck, you need to summon him forth immediately if you have it.
Oh, hey. It would be really nice. That wasn't good. Technically, color said wheelie painful and whaley nice they're adjacent. So
they're close.
Yeah, but either way, this rat's going, hey guys, I'm pretty cool, but I'm not like wipe a whole board cool. So he says maybe next game will be different.
Yeah, we just don't got it. We'll just have to go ahead and pack them up here and get on into that game number 2. Nice shuffles coming in from both. And that was just the textbook quintessential Amber Steel showcase. I mean, that's what you want to do basically every time. Get your singers established, play whole new worlds in a very spaced out, timely manner, and just keep your opponent off their game. Expand the board, win, and just roll out. So Hayes has to understand that. I'm sure you have some really cool techs in your deck. I believe looking at the deck list title, it's called Anti-Steal.
Yeah, and do you want to say what the name of the other deck is too?
And the other deck name is called Freedom Gaming Counter. So we're countering a counter. I love this. They're metagaming. Which means
that it's kind of like a negative plus a negative equals or negative times a negative is a positive. So I think they accidentally. It's complicated. I think one countered a little harder than the other. Hayes is anti-steal. And so looking at the list, let's think here. So anti-steal, do you think it's because it's more big bodies? That's maybe what he's cooking with here?
I would assume it's the big bodies, the huge willpower, and the keyword of Ward. We saw the Ratigan there. He had not really great effect. He was on the board. He did his thing. He made it to the field of play, but he was, outflanked at that position. It was almost done. Got the Kita in there. We saw Kita actually have some value, being able to ward off those songs, which could have easily have clapped up, made the situation tremendously worse. She didn't have that keyword. So maybe that's what it is. I will have to ask Hayes in the post-game assessment to figure out what the anti-steal is, and looking at Freedom Gaming counter there as well. And it definitely countered. It seemed quite counterable.
Yeah, and it's a nice lean Amber Steel song, and I feel good saying it's Amber Steel song because I think the clinical definition is Ariel there, and if she is, that's Amber Steel song. What else could it be? Yeah. So I'm excited, but we've kind of seen all the fun things that deck can do. It's been doing it for many sets, but this time with the hamster. We got hamster no ball, hamster in ball, no hamster ball. But I did get wrecked by Hamster Ball when Phil played it against me. I was like, what?
I did as well.
Yeah, I was like, why is this card doing this? Stop it. It was, I think, payback for me laughing at Hamster Ball not being like the strongest card. It was like some kind of karma thing.
That was very ironic because, you know, you and I, we're team Hamster Ball. We're Hamster Ball over here. And I'm telling you, he had me in shambles with Hamster Ball.
I rued the day I ever said that, ooh, what would I do with a Hamster Ball? You beat people up, okay?
Yeah. He took me right on down.
You dunk on them. You put their head in the hamster ball and go, how do you like that? And you're like, I don't like it. But either way, we're altering. We're saying, okay, listen, that was cool. Yeah, Amber Steel song. Cool. Great. Wow. But he's like, I'm not phased. My name's Hazed. Let's go to game 2.
I hope he said that. I hope that's so. If he's not, he should hire you as a marketing
I'm
expert.
Not phased. My name Hayes.
That's a really good thing. I'm not phased. I'm Hayes.
I'll leave you in a daze.
Hey, these is bars. All right.
I feel like
getting a nice cut in. Habibi, what does Hayes need to do, Katie? From your perspective, we're going first this time. Blurple on the draw. Okay.
Hope that he just
Blurple on the
finds
play
the
is one of the best decks.
Hope the wheels lock up and they all like block together at the bottom, because he hit 3 wheels that game and all of them hurt as bad as the last. Yeah. So I think he has to kind of hope, which is kind of a bad strategy, to hope that your opponent just doesn't do well. Yeah. But it's hard because we know that Hayes doesn't have an early game, but it's anti-steal. So I think he needs to get out those ward characters and just stay calm. Just get those ward and the big bodies.
Absolutely. But this Amber Steel deck can sometimes just brick. It plays a lot of uninkables. They can't come disjointed. You can brick. Ariel can whiff. Things can go bad, but you're going to need a lot of that to happen if you are Hayes. As we put another Finders Keepers down to the Inkwell, ramp is complete. No characters on board. Shift Rhino is one of the most terrifying plays of the set 8 meta. Let's see if Habibi can get to it into a shift and start questing vigorously. That guy can clean up the Amethyst strategy as well.
He's kind of a problem. Now, that being said, he notably did not make the top 8 of a 250-person tournament this weekend. It was 2 days down at Charlie's Collectible Showcase. So where is that hamster? He didn't make it, but here he is saying, I'm here, I'm questing for 2, and you should fear me.
And this guy is very annoying for these because Blurple tends to, especially in that early game, mid game, it likes to engage with the board and start doing a little bit of board fighting where you're not beating up this hamster. It's not going to happen. He's going to put hands on everybody that comes near him, and that ball is going to put you right into the dirt fast. As we're going to ramp to 4, get to Kita, slam on the board, ward, no Zeus, which is quite strong. Hamster singing Zeus is a quite powerful play. Ariel can find it too.
Yeah, catch these hamster hands. These little hamster hands is what I'm thinking. Little hamsters have little hands, by the way. But let's see what song he hits. Yeah, but hamster hands sounds more fun to say.
I think Ariel got the whiff.
No,
so I think
she would be fired. She would never, but yeah, that sucks. And I don't know a better word for it because Habibi, as we saw, has a very magical connection with this deck. He has played this deck many times on the ICL, and every time he plays it, we're like, wow, she's magical, Ariel. But in this case, she is a spectacular failure.
Spectacular whiff machine. But still, that's the saddest part about Blurple. They really don't have a lot of ways. I guess going into on the play, you have ramped, and now you can get to your Elsa on 5 to exert the Ariel, and then you'll have to send the Kita in, but then you're just going to lose the Kita to the hamster next turn. So it's a lot to unpack here and unfold. As we're going to the 5-ink turn, you really might need to move that 5-cost thing off the board immediately, or more will happen. As Elsa does hit the field of play, we'll exert that spectacular failure and then clear it with the Kita. You hate to see it.
Yeah, and that hamster lives another day. Now we do have abilities to pump up, perhaps an Anna with support, perhaps a crab, a little, we have lots of crabs in this deck. We got medium size and we got purple, and we got amethyst ones and sapphires. So an amethyst one would be nice, but either way, We shall see. And I guess Akita turning sideways does kind of beg the question: Are you coming for me? And the answer
you might
is,
have to. If you come for the Kita, you will put a little bit of damage onto the hamster. I think you cracked the code there. I think she's a 3, putting 1 onto the hamster. But then Rapunzel can heal this bad boy up coming into your 4 ink turn. Let's see if Habibi takes the bait, or will you?
Card.
Oh, you ink a Rapunzel. Interesting. You got to
play a Rapunzel. Is it ink to play? No.
We're gonna Zeus the Elsa.
Wow.
Interesting indeed.
Which, to be fair, at this point, he managed the board, which is always a nice thing. So now Hayes is left with just a little Anna out there, which could come into play later. I believe, looking at the ability here, it's whenever this character quests, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you may draw a card. So if he has another Elsa on, just, on standby, we could
for sure
see that.
You'd be running with the big dogs if you got another Elsa. And let's see if we can get Rapunzel, or excuse me, Spectacular Singer. Let's go 2 for 2. We're gonna go 1. We're gonna go 2, 3, 4. Are we shipping them?
He doesn't even want to look. He's like, I can't. It's just so scary right now. 1 at a time.
And we have the whole new world. And Naveen can sing it.
Will he do it? I would, rip it. I think it's always chaotic to destabilize. So in this case, get rid of that hamster, turn it into ink, and then Naveen, sing us a song.
Naveen can get it going if you want to. I think you might be kind of stressed because your opponent does have low resources as well, and you will be recharging their batteries. They do have you out inked, as the Rhino is going to check that. Yep. Rhino's Zeusing the Anna. We'll put a 5-piece on her, and then we'll sing the whole new world.
Which is, smart move there, because he will I guess Ariel can't sing, so he's just doing some work. He's like, before I get rid of this card, let me give you one thing here. It's 5 damage, and then you can get some new cards.
For sure, and that will help. As I guess you could come up with another Elsa this turn, exert the Ariel, and then quest and support into the hamster, or whichever one of these characters. All these characters are very problematic, and you just don't have enough units to just get through all this stuff at once, because you really only can do 1 or 2 things a turn. And he puts another threat out in the name of the Troubadour. So this is looking aces for Habibi again, and trying to force this thing right into a 2-0, as Hayes needs to make something happen sooner than later. You need to get I don't even know what you need to get here, but you need to get to Monstro the Monstrous Well again. Do you have it?
The chat is like trying to summon it. We're all like, Monstro. But instead it's just Anna being like, I don't know what you guys want me to do. I'm so freaked out right now. But we shall see. It's tough. If we're looking at, he's got 6 ink, he can go to 7, and even like Hades, okay, which one? I guess obviously Naveen or Ariel, but that's still, it's like, okay, 1 down, and then you still have the next turn where he has a full clutch of cards in his hand.
Yeah, I would like to see a Bell, the accomplished mystic, would be quite wonderful in this position as well, to clean up that Anna a little bit, to kind of punch that play, as Popsicle can heal the Anna a bit as well. And now that's going to start to utilize the remainder of your ink. You have the opportunity to ink a few times. Iago, anti-steal Iago, not in this economy. As we put that Spectra
he's
Parrot
pro steal. I saw his voting record, and he's like, I voted steal every time. Listen, steal's a problem for everyone. But we go ahead, we ink an Iago, we ink an Akita. We don't have time for that right now. Maybe it's anti-steal, but maybe just in case steal's not on the menu.
Gotcha. Or maybe they don't have the units. Do you have the Bell? Where are the units? We need some units coming in from Hayes. He's not giving us.
I don't hear no bell, but you're panicked. I don't hear no bell. Panicked version.
I need some units, man. I need some energy. As they're paying a big cost. What's this?
Where's Elsa?
We're all thinking about it. It's a bell. Look at that. I heard a bell. There it is.
And then with that, we can move 3 damage and then remove 2 with the popsicle. And then suddenly Anna's like, hey, guess what? I'm not even scared right now.
Yeah, and we can go ahead and quest. No, we're challenge. I'm sorry. Challenge. Man, could you have cleared this hamster, though? That guy's going to be a threat to your mental faculties as well. As huge bell off the top for Hayes, who is kind of turning the thing around now. And now Habibi is going to be kind of stunned a little bit on the back foot, looking for a potential Rapunzel now to heal this hamster ball back up to full value, and then you can swing on into the Anna. Where did the popsicle heal?
Popsicle healed Anna, and then she challenged into Naveen. However, Hamster Ball does have someone said, where's the damage? It's up there. It's just kind of like in the you can see the tip of the dice if you look right at the top of the ball, at top of the hamster. But yes, so that popsicle's in there, which means Tamatoa, are you coming? He could. So we got lots of things that are available, but now we have Miss Bianca coming in, and
Bianca, holy, and the Smee. That is a great quality clampback, as you are going to send the strength of a Raging Fire on into the Bell, I would assume, and then we're going to send strength into the Ana as well. So both of those characters will be cleaned up quite nicely. Great turn back for Habibi, who was firmly back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and those were 2 expensive characters. Ana's a 6 cost, Bell is a 5. So I mean, these were expensive investments. And we see himself. Hayes has himself as a screen, which is an interesting.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's somebody else in the picture. I would like it if it's just himself. However,
shout out to Crop Gang. I'm a big shout out to Crop Gang. Anyone who's cropped out at any accident or on purpose.
Yeah, shout out to that. But his dad's texting him and be like, you better not lose this right now. I swear, you better get it together. You're not coming to dinner this weekend. Ooh, this is an interesting one. It's also Spirit of Winter, which is kind of nice. It's saying, listen, whatever you were going to do, just stop. You have one turn to just not ready. And he's going to go elect to the hamster, Miss Bianca, and say, the little guys, I'm not worried. Troubadour and Smee, you can stay up.
But how cool would that have been if that had been a whale, though? A whale of a good time. As Naveen's going to come on in, high impact, swing 2, right on into the Spirit of Winter. We'll get another rip in there. Do you have more songs? Along came Zeus, and I'm scooping, I say, as the Mr. Smee can quest for 2 if you feel so inclined. We got 4 in Inkwell for Habibi, or excuse me, 4 in the lore. So you got to start making something happen here sooner or later, as Ariel is going to come out again.
Get another song as a treat. Because Elsa, she's pretty cool. She's one of my favorite cards. And I mean, who doesn't like Elsa Spirit of Winter? 4/6, quest for 3. She needs some help here, and she's about to not get it. She's about to.
Wow! Wow! To get the strength of a Raging Fire to finish off, I think Habibi is in top deck mode, so he's got to really respect this the monstrous whale, even though I don't think the whale is that good anymore.
He hasn't come anywhere in towards the inkwell or the playing field, so the whale sightings, he's deep in the ocean, but perhaps he'll come up for air.
His board is too massive, and the Bianca's over there. She will be free of her bewitchment, as she will be able to ready next turn, and the Celia's right seat is just not
a good sign. Yeah, and I mean, this is rough in a lot of ways, because oh god, the screen is shaking, but I do like the flavor of the Spirit of Winter came down, and Habibi said, you want to know the real Spirit of Winter? It's Canada. And we do see Hades come down, get rid of Miss Bianca, but we still have 5 units ready to do some mischief.
A whole new world off the top. I think I'm still ripping it, and it comes immediately. Oh my goodness, whole new world. Habibi,
he's got such a spiritual connection with this deck.
It feels so right.
Would you ever switch decks if this is how it played?
No.
I would never. I mean, so it makes sense. Habibi, don't change, because your deck said don't leave me, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, that whole new world off the top was just way too good, and now we're able to do a huge board flood again, as the world's greatest criminal mind is going to find its way down to Inkwell. We'll put another 1/16 wolf down, another rhino, and this is brutality, as Hayes and a Yonka is back.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not? Just bring out the whole family. Yeah, somebody said, call an ambulance, call an ambulance.
Call it.
But not for me. Because Hades is like, listen,
listen, guys. Hey, I didn't ask for all this. Okay? Yeah. I'm a guy. I'm one guy. You can send a whole army for one guy. As Naveen, I think it's time to just get them glimmers exerted.
Yeah, why not? Just make a problem. He's already made a problem. Let's make it a big problem. And he goes to 13 lore and says, I got Lorthul trademark on board. You've got 2. What are you gonna do? I hope it's a whale, which I would like to point out that color said, do you have a whale? Which so she didn't do it, but I give her credit. She didn't do the impression, but I bet she would if she was here.
That's pretty funny. The color's hilarious too. I love it. I love it.
Color is law and color is hilarious. So yeah, let's see. What does Hayes have? Is it a whale, or is there anything else?
Is there a whale?
Is there
my kingdom for a whale? Okay.
Because I mean, could a whale theoretically? I'm not a monstro. Spoiler alert. But could Monstro? How much could he even theoretically do if he came in right now? I mean,
Monstro could come in. You can clear the Troubadour, clear the Ariel, clear the Smee, clear the Naveen, and then finish him off on the Rhino.
And then
so you clear all these guys.
Yeah, and that leaves 5 on board, which is still bad, but still an answer. But no, we have.
And then you go your second Monstro. You go double Monstro. Discard. You lose your whole hand though too. I don't know how many cards you have in hand.
Yeah, it's a monstrous investment.
Yeah.
So either way, man. Or I guess he's not a monstrous whale. He's an infamous whale. I'm thinking monstrous dragon. Either way, whatever. You swing.
It's an infamous whale. Oh yeah, Monstro, the infamous whale.
Sorry, he just showed 2 Zeus's, 2 enchanted Zeus's. He wasn't showing them off. He was saying, by the way, I have something for you. Yeah. It's called pain.
And then along came Zeus. And then along came Scoop. All right.
I scooped my whole hand. And
That's
now
right.
we're going to the interviews. All right. Habibi got the little thing, the little disco dance. So let's go get in there.
The dub has gone to enter the battlefield. Habibi getting it done. Not this time, Hayes. I still like the participation. I like the tenacity. I love the blurple, but it was all Habibi today playing that steel song, stank, and you had another barn burner, man. The deck was just humming along. Any changes, any updates? What are your thoughts on steel song in this current meta in the more traditional version?
I believe it's like one of the best decks in the format right now. It's the strongest it's ever been, if not. I made some slight changes. I made the deck more consistent for today. I wanted to make sure I wasn't like working on big shifts, and I was also assuming that they'd be playing Blurple, some level of red blue, and some kind of counter for Steel Song. The Kita was good. It just I kept like 7 game 1, and then game 2 like I found the cards when I needed it. So I just Steel Song's in a good spot. I was pretty much teched for consistency and to kill like the big bodies when they came down that can like turn the game.
Absolutely. I mean, it seemed like especially in that game number 1, it just seemed like everything was just rolling your way. You hit the perfect opening with the 1, 2, 3 wheel, boom, 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 and it just seemed like he never really had a chance to get his footing. Is that still the same game plan going into this set 8 meta? I know Steel Song's been pretty much doing that this whole time, but have you noticed any changes? Just for the people at home that might be watching that may not have played back in the day, but is there any new lines of play that you're looking for in this matchup and other matchups that you might find yourself playing?
Whereas before you would play like a shift line and then half the wheel on turn 3 or 4 because you'd have so much negative card advantage. Nowadays, the shift line survives for a very long period. So like I'm doing Rhino shift, playing like a Lawrence in most matches, and then just like curving out like kind of Kiwi style. I don't have to wheel to like win most matchups. In this matchup specifically, it kind of like is reminiscent of the old style of like you mentioned, going like for a normal curve and then trying to play a whole new world. Because the wider I go, the less answers Hayes really has for me. It leaves him at just whale, and if he uses whale, he's down to no cards in his hand. If he has to discard every time he uses the effect, right?
For sure.
For this matchup, I'm still trying to go for the wheel, but like in the majority of my matchups, I'm not like really excited to rip a whole new world. Because very often I'm filling up like my opponent with better cards than my 4 drops and under are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like it.
We saw the beauty of the hamster, so I love to see that. But speaking of rodents, we saw a large rodent on the side of Hayes. So Hayes, we saw you had some ward in there. You were Tekken. You had an anti-steal deck. So tell us how you came to your list and what was some of the plans you had going into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I left the list anti-steal because that's where I started at the beginning of the set, but this was not an anti-steal deck, to be clear.
Okay.
I took Monster out. Yeah, exactly. I took Monster out because I was hoping I wouldn't play Habibi. And I honestly don't even think it really helps. Like, thinking about it now, if I drew Monstro, I think at any point in that game when he had a bunch of characters sideways, I still think I'd lose. I don't think that it would have mattered. I honestly think I would have turned the corner if he didn't top deck the wheel that one game. Because I had another Hades and Big Elsa in hand. I think that would have probably been okay, but I mean, it was just no popsicles in the beginning, no bells in the beginning. It's almost impossible for me to win at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, is in your Blurple? I know you play a lot of Blurple, and I play a lot of Blurple myself. And playing this matchup, it seemed incredibly uphill the entire time. Is there any lines of play that you look for, just like I asked Habibi, to help kind of close this gap to make this thing a little bit more advantageous for yourself?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely Kita on 3. I think Kita on 3
Mhm.
opens up a lot of play because especially if you sail into it and you don't have something with 2 health on the board, like you don't have the Tipo, it makes it kind of weird for them. So if I go like Bell on 1 with Pop and then Kita on 3, it's a little harder for them to deal with. It's still doable for them if they have like their nut draw, but that is what I look for, and I did see half of that, but the other half was needed because if you go like Kita into Elsa, like it did that one game, to be able to take out the aerial, it's nice. But I know Habibi loves his Naveen's too, and now Naveen's back in play, it's brutal because you can kind of keep them off of Singer 5s with Blurple, but if they just Naveen into wheel, it's just as bad as if they had a Singer 5 out.
Mm. And I had one more question about this before I kick it over to Katie, because I'm sure she got some more things that she wants to ask as well. But a lot of people in the chat were screaming Monstro, Monstro, myself included. What led you to taking him out of the deck? Did you? I'm sure you tried it. And what were your overarching thoughts on Monstro, the infamous well? And would you put it back into the deck over the Radigan?
Different decks you're attacking with those 2 cards. So Monstro is quite literally, I think, only good into Steel Song.
Mhm.
Sure, it can like take out a Manor in a niche scenario, but I only want to see it against Steel Song, and I tried to game not playing against Steel Song tonight. And yeah, I paid the price for it for sure. But again, I really don't think it would have done a whole lot. Because there's been so many times I have used it into Steel Song, and I empty my hand after they wheel, and they just respond with like a World's Greatest Criminal Mind, like Habibi showing
Oh,
off here, and then you're just like, okay, they still have 6 cards, I'm down to like 2. Sure, their board's gone, but and the deck does top deck better than Steel Song, I would say, but if they still have 6 cards out, they can just go super wide again. I don't think it helped that much. It can help in niche scenarios, but I don't think it's not a trump card for Steel Song. I'll put it that way. It's not a
I
silver
gotta agree
bullet.
with I gotta agree with Hayes here. Like it's like a card that you play that makes you feel like you lost less when in reality you're just delaying like what the inevitable because you're emptying your entire hand to clear like what I've already quested with, right? And
Exactly.
also I'm like any Steel Song player has tech to answer, and by the time it removes the board, I don't even need the World of Greatness. I can like storm it usually to finish it off. So
Mhm.
if anything, the Kita was really really good tech in general, just to help in this matchup, like he mentioned. And like I had a situation where I had 2 Zeuses in my hand. I didn't keep the second one. I drew it, and I was just praying that he plays like a genie, he played like a bell, and then he played the Kita, and I'm like, well, I have to wheel now because my entire hand is just removal, and if he just plays another Kita next turn, I just lose the game. So it it would definitely
Okay.
a good tech choice or swap if that's what he did.
Okay, I like that. We're solving the world's problems here at the ICL. Kita good, well bad. What do you guys think at home? Katie, what do you think before we start to wrap this interview up?
I mean, my only question is, Hayes, we've seen you play several flavors of Blurple, or what was the one you said? Samothus? Not a big fan of that, but of all of them, we have our Jafar, we have ones with 1 drops, we have this
Yeah.
one with Ward. What has been the one that's in your heart, the one that you're like, listen, this is the one that I love the most?
Blurple Jafar is probably like my favorite to pilot and play. But I don't think it's as consistent or good into most of the meta. I think this deck specifically is very good. I told Habibi, I was like, I wish I played literally any of your other teammates.
Yeah.
Steel Song is hard, and I'm not saying that in the sense that ETB is a bunch of incredible players. It would have been really tough matches either way. But I mean, I played against one of the best Steel Song players. Luckily, I have a local couple that are pretty good too. But
Mhm.
um, no, I would say Purple Jafar is my favorite to play. This deck is probably the most competitive, though. And if you want to play the whales, you can play the whales instead of Radigans. But I think Radigan's really good too.
Absolutely. I like Radigan. I like Radigan and Lucky Die. But I'm in an island alone with you. You and me. We're in an island together. But it didn't work out for you this time, Hayes.
No.
But you still got a team. They can rally this thing and they can save it for Freedom Gaming. But before we let you go, we always like to give special shout outs. Anything you want to say? The floor is yours. We'll start with you, Hayes, and then we'll kick it on over to the winner, Habibi.
Yeah. Shout out to the team. Obviously, we put in. I wish we spent more time on Lorcana the last couple weeks and playing too much of another game. But shout
Oh,
out to the teams tested and everything. I still have faith in them. I think we'll make it close for sure if we could still take it too. And shout out to ETB because they're a great community, great group of people. It was a pleasure to play against Habibi. You get to talk to Habibi quite a bit too, so it's all fun, man. And shout out to all you guys, commentators, judges, producers. You guys are all the best. It's so much fun to be a part of this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Hayes. And shout out to you and Freedom Gaming as well. But we're going to kick it over to our winner, Habibi, who got it done. Round 1, leading the charge. Any shout outs you want to say? Any special notes? Anything you want to plug or post? The floor is yours, Habibi. Take it away.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, as Hayes mentioned, shout out to them. They were amazing, good sports. I made like a group chat last night, way too late when we were all watching the Panthers match. And I just started trash talking and we started going back and forth, and they were good sports. Like we had fun with it. So not a lot of teams out there that can have that kind of friendly banter and then come onto the actual battlefield, for no pun intended. And then like be good sports. So I again appreciate them. They're all great players. Always fun to talk to. Shout out to the judges and the casters. I know Mr. Luke doesn't pay you guys enough.
Wait, who's getting paid?
You guys are getting paid?
Yeah, right. Wait. Let's like have a moment here.
No, it's okay. It's
But yeah, shout out to all of y'all guys.
You guys.
We always appreciate you guys. You guys make it entertaining and fun. Of course, Twin Moon Studios and Endgame, our sponsors, and Enter the Battlefield and our wonderful community. I hear them in the background cheering when I top deck that wheel. So it's always exciting and rejuvenating when you have your team behind you cheering you on. So job's not finished. Hopefully the next 2 players can close it out, and we'll see how it goes.
Let's go. Well, we'll be rooting for all of you. Let's get it done. I just want high profile, high impact matches, but we're going to let you guys go, get back into your respective dojos and cheer your team on. Congratulations to you, Habibi, again. And Hayes, it's not over. You guys need to lock in. Tell the team to figure it out.
A match.
All right. And we're here. I'm here now. I wasn't here now, but now I'm here. I am
You're
back.
here. But the thing is you're here and you're not leaving. But I am. I'm going to go eat dinner. I don't know what I'm going to have. But everybody, you're in for a treat. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's going into game 2. I'm already looking right. I said 2-1 and they got the 1. So I'm going to check out and watch from the comfort of my couch. But everybody duck for cover because we're about to drop a J-bomb.
Hey, I see what you did there. Air horns. J-bomb in the building. I see you, J-bomb. Oh, I saw it. Now I see Katie again. I saw J-bomb for a brief moment.
That was a really good intro. Come on, guys. No, I spent all my credit on the J.
All right. Yo, we got J-bomb back at it again. How you feeling, J-bomb? You're looking good.
Feeling really good. That intro was incredible. I'm gonna have to steal that one for myself going forward. Please
do. Were you able to catch round number 1 of the ICL on a Wednesday?
Yeah, it went too fast. I needed another 15 minutes. I had to sprint to get my blazer on and be ready for this.
Let's go. A little bit of exercise, a little bit of pre-stream exercise never hurt anybody. Blurple versus Amber Steel. It's been an uphill battle for the longest time. I thought Monstro would help close the gap. Apparently, I was wrong after listening to what Hayes had to say about it. I don't know what they can do to make that matchup a little bit more favorable. Maybe post-rotation. I don't know. We shall see. But we got another high-profile, high-impact digital combat match coming our way. I think it's going to be Chris coming in from Enter the Battlefield. I think he should be playing up against Sploosh Magoo, if I recall correctly. Do you know anything about these players and their tendencies, and what are your thoughts if you do?
I've seen Sploosh's name around quite a bit since the beginning of Lorcana. I'm not too familiar with his play lines, but I know either way we'll get such an exciting match.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I think that it's going to be a really close match again, and hopefully we can get to a game 3, and maybe we'll see a tie-up here and get to the match 3 of the series mattering a lot more.
Yeah, you know me. I love a good game number 3. So I'll probably have to send a little bit of energy over to Freedom Gaming, but I did think that Into the Battlefield is going to come out swinging. I mean, this team is quite dynamic. They got a lot of team cohesion. Both of these teams, it's no surprise that they are in the position that they are in here at the quarterfinals of the ICL, as they have great team chemistry, as Habibi alluded to in that post-game interview. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to propel them into the finals. But I do know Split Magoo, I think last time he came out and played some Emerald Steel, but I know he's a very prolific Ruby Sapphire player. Chris typically plays a little bit of Amethyst Steel. I had the opportunity to cover him at the Enter the Battlefield event, playing some Amethyst Steel with a little bit of that burn stank to it. So I don't know. Maybe if that's the matchup, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot if you got Amethyst Steel versus Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out and see where it goes. Yeah, and I just want to point out, Habibi, I don't think has ever lost a match in the ICL and has played almost every round, if not all of them. So
wow, MVP,
really showcasing it. I mean, it's hard to argue with that, with ETB being undefeated in Swiss and starting off to a very, very hot start here as well.
MV Habibi, MVP chance. You guys hear it? MV Habibi trying to get the trophy and take home playoff, postseason, and regular season most valuable player. I mean, they're gonna have to sign this guy to a max contract next year as the salary cap. There's no salary cap here in the ICL, so however much you can get is how much you're worth. We do baseball rules here. As I see the players are moving about the cabin, and it's about to be time to play. So if you guys are ready, make sure you are locked in, switched on, and laser focused for ICL on a Wednesday. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get loose and let's get active. Chris, I love the name tags on the mats as well. I think that's a good little touch. I think that's a nice little feature there. It's both players, both teams. Oh, never mind. We have Joey. I thought this whole time I thought it was going to be Sploosh Magoo versus Chris. So forget everything I said, as Joey is actually going to be playing against Chris.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool indeed. We're working to get through this match here and get it set up here. But JDZ, how are you doing today?
I can't complain. I'm living the dream, man. I'm feeling good. All of my kids have moved on to the next echelon of their educational careers. My oldest daughter is going to college next year. She did her graduation from high school. Shout out to her. My middle daughter graduated middle school, going to high school. My youngest daughter graduated 5th grade, going on to middle school. So we're all moving
Amazing.
up. We're all moving out. I am super excited for that. I'm glad it's all over. And now we can get back, but still, it's been a pretty hectic and chaotic chain of events for your boy JDZ. How about you, man? How are you feeling? Any hot dogs in the gullet today?
No, I did try the new Culver spicy chicken sandwich that came out yesterday, though. So
was it good?
It was very good. It was the crispiest and the spiciest of all the fast food ones. So no complaints here. Loved it.
Try it. Culver's? I don't think we have those in my area.
Probably not. No, it's a very, very Midwestern Wisconsin thing. So
Culver's is okay, but there's no way it has anything on the Popeyes. They can hear me.
No.
The chat can. I had to unmute myself for chat. You can't be trying to say Culver's has a better chicken sandwich than Popeyes chicken. Like, there's no way.
I said it was a good chicken sandwich, but no, Popeyes is definitely better still. I didn't get that.
I haven't had listen, I didn't know the chicken sandwich wars were so intense. I might have to look more into the chicken sandwich beef that we have. Hey, yo, no pun intended, because I'm talking beef of the chicken. Call it chicken? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. It looks like getting into the games here. Joey's mulled 6 cards, and I believe Chris did 3 or 4, if I saw correctly there.
Okay. So it looks like we're going to have Joey going to be on the play this time, as that's the rules of the ICL. If you lose round 1, your team gets to go first in round number 2. I would assume you get to choose. I mean, there are people who sometimes choose to go second for whatever mysterious reason I'll never understand, but I don't think that's going to happen here. That's not going to happen here, as Chris is getting some high impact shuffling in. We got the black sleeves as well, probably those in-game sleeves or Twin Moon Studio sleeve. No, in-game makes the sleeve. There it is, as they are black on black. Thinking about how we're going to get those cuts in, get it done.
Yep. Always love the black on black. Very hard to see the ink, but we will manage and pursue through it.
We'll make it happen. I like it. It's very fitting. It's thematically. I like the whole aesthetic that the Enter the Battlefield crew is doing with the black and red. It looks very menacing. It looks very coordinated. Freedom Gaming also with the black, red, white, and blue, all on blue sleeves. I think that is quite good as well. As we do see the Vitalosphere going down to the inkwell, so a little bit of ruby.
Yeah, I think the Vitalosphere is just a pretty much dead giveaway that we are going to be seeing a Ruby Sapphire items list. And with Chris inking Elsa into Popsicle, it looks like we got Ruby Sapphire items versus a Blurple.
Oh my goodness! What are your thoughts on that matchup? Typically, what do you think about this matchup?
I think it really depends on if the Blurple gets out to a fast start and if the Ruby Sapphire is playing Be Prepared. If the Ruby Sapphire is playing Be Prepared, I think I like the items list much better as a win percentage there.
Mm-hmm. I double down with that. I think, and this is no hyperbolic, I think Ruby Sapphire items might be the best deck in the game, and I think it can beat anyone if you just give it some time. If you stumble and you slip and you just don't close the door on this strategy, it will not lose. It will win the game. It is inevitable. So I hate playing against this deck, but it is what it is. As Chris is going to be having the unfavorable position of trying to take this thing down, and you don't have a character on the board, J-Bomb. I think that's something you alluded to. You need to be questing early to kind of clear this thing.
Yeah, definitely. But we do see that both starts have the very quick ramp, which is what you like to see if you're not playing characters as the Blurple player. And so we're going to get into that nice range where 4 is the key number in these Amethyst decks. And so he's going to start being able to play his key creatures that are going to generate lore, such as the Genie, which is actually pretty hard for the Ruby Sapphire items deck to get through early without committing a whole turn to Brawl, especially if it doesn't have a Sapphire Coil out.
Absolutely. Yeah, no coil, he's got nothing. And he actually has a character on board and is questing, as we do have double popsicle up and active already found, which is a great piece of interaction that you're going to need for the later games when you start getting those Tamatoas to help kind of refill your hand when you get low on resources. But I'd like to see, I don't even know what characters you can have on the board already to start questing. This Blurple deck, the way they're built more late game, high impact cards as we get the very problematic Maurice's Workshop up and established here for Joey. This is looking great for Freedom Gaming here.
Yeah, the Ruby Sapphire is going to be very favored from this point on, where he has made it through without sacrificing any lore. He's got the workshop set up, and so he's never going to run out of resources for the rest of this game. And the Blurple is just going to be fighting from behind to keep up on resources while keeping a board state that can be usually easily dealt with from the Ruby Sapphire side.
Unless, I mean, maybe there is some tech in the deck that that Chris has access to. I don't know what that actually would look like. Maybe you can play this resource game. I know they like to play Finders Keepers. I know they like to play, maybe some locations or something like that you could possibly get to help stifle your opponent a little bit, gain some residual lore. But sitting at 0, we're going to turn number 5, no characters on board. That's probably not the way to go, as you still have. But one thing you do have going for you is that your opponent only has 3 cards left in hand. One of them is going to be Popsicle next turn. You might have to take a couple turns off to continue to add more resources to their hand. As Hardcast Friends on 3, hate to see it.
Yeah, hardcasting Friends is definitely not your plan A or plan B or plan C for that matter in this matchup, as you really need to get out to an early lore lead to be able to close this one out, because the longer this game goes, the items player is just going to become the mayor of Value Town and really just take over the match from that aspect. And so we're just taking so many turns off and haven't developed anything to the board yet, and that's allowing the items player to just have free reign over his acquisition of cards from that workshop.
But still, they did not play an item, and they did not activate the workshop. So you are dropping resources down, 2 cards left in hand. And finally, finally you get to establish a character in the name of Genie Wish Fulfilled. That's going to give you another card and someone who can start to begin to aggressively quest. We put the Tamatoa down into the Inkwell. Your hand must be stinky, man, if you put the Tamatoa down in this spot. What do you think about that? Uh-oh. I lost J-Bomb. I can't hear.
Sorry. You have 2 popsicles on the board there. You really do not want to be inking the Tamatoa. So that tells me one of 2 things. He either has a lot of Tamatoas in his hand, or he's just clunked up, as you said, with Hades and other uninkables at the top end there.
Yeah, it's got to be Giga Omega Super Brick, as we are going to see what we put into the Inkwell this time. Maybe trying to get to that Hades, which Hades in this matchup, I'm learning, is a double, maybe even triple-edged sword, because you are going to remove a character, but you are continuing to ramp your opponent. If you notice, Joey is kind of dead stuck at 2 cards in hand, and you're not able to advance your game state. So you bring out the Hades now, and you just put him right to be prepared, and they could just blow you out with that. So it never feels good, as we are going to go into that 7 ink turn. Are you dropping the Schemer? No, we're double dipping the chip, bringing out 2 Peter Pan. So we were bricked up there.
Yeah, so we definitely figured out what the issue was we're clogged with these Peter Pans and still likely a Hades or two in there as well. Also to note, we got hit with a little blast from the past with that Madame Medusa being able to take out the Genie, one of the historically best answers to Genie, and we haven't seen her in a little over a set, to be honest. And so what a nice piece of tech choice here to stop the Blurple from getting all of their Genie lore. And that's actually going to make like a very large difference to be able to take that Genie out and stop it from questing, because the Blurple player is still sitting at 0 lore this far into the game.
Absolutely. I like me a little deucer, big deucer gang. I know that Beast, Tragic Hero, has been back in a major way. A lot of these problematic cards, Robin Hood has come back in a major, major way, because a lot of people, like you said, J-Bomb, have gotten the deucer all the way out of the card pool, but it's time to bring her back. You got a little limited time to use that Madame Medusa before she's rotated back out, as we are going to ramp here. Ramp into the Be Prepared. Oh, it's going to feel bad if they got it, but if you got to play it, you better have it, as you're still winning the card economy game. We saw the Fishbone Quill get a draw, but that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, and the Blurple player's hand is still 4 cards, so it must be seriously just clogged with these unankables to see these kind of play lines. And so I'm just going to expect Hades after Hades for the next couple turns if Otto's going to be playing some big threats here. If not, I don't know. Is it worth still playing the Hades on something small? This is going to be a very interesting couple of turns, whereas Joey's trying to accumulate some resources from being down to almost 0 cards to try and fight for this board back, which the Blurple player has effectively taken back with kind of an unfortunate series of draws. But this Scrooge is going to be very, very powerful, assuming it hits.
And let's see, you haven't played too many items yet, so maybe we'll get some value from this Scrooge McDuck, or we'll just send some really good cards to the bottom of the deck. You hate to see it. You get to see what they were as well. Check your hand now. You are getting dwindled on resources, so Chris has to seize his opportunity. You got to be feeling good to see have the ability to now freely start to quest. We're going to still send the Fishbone Quill in. Continue to ramp. What do you think we're trying to get to there with all that ink in the well?
Maybe we are trying to get a Tamatoa, a big Tamatoa play going. It's tough. I'm having a hard time reading this hand, but it can't be good. I don't think it's items. Maybe it's a big Tamatoa here to play after the Scrooge, but this is one of the tougher reads I've had, and it's very kind of disappointing to miss with that Scrooge, but it does get you 4 cards closer to an item that you weren't there before, and you do have a workshop out. So you will be hitting an item here soon, and probably can just kind of set this train in motion at any time. Like once you just get rolling with a popsicle that can just start drawing multiple cards, we're going to just have this train leave the station and go straight to Value Town immediately. But we do see the Blurple player starting to quest out, and he's from 0 to 6 in 2 turns very quickly.
I like that a lot. We're going to take the opportunity to go ahead and heal 2 of these characters just to set up our Tamatoa here, as you'll get some value out of your Tamatoa, getting 2 items back. Love to see it. If you're Chris, we'll go and put one of those back into the field. I think what Joey might be hanging on to is that lucky dime. It might be a dime in hand. You're inking. Maybe you can deploy that lucky dime, get some value from it, and still exert the lucky dime. And maybe you can Tamatoa off as you're still putting all these items. This is looking great for Chris, I think. Be prepared or bust is what you're saying. You don't have it.
Yeah, this was a really interesting game. It went from a very, very slow start to a very, very strong push with sort of some weaker, not plan A or plan B game lines. But Joey here just did not have really anything to play for most of this game to fight for board or to clear the board. We saw him ink some Mauis early because Chris was not doing anything at the start of the game. But it looks like JDZ batting 100 here today. There is the dime, as you foretold in the prophecy.
And there it's up. But is it going to be enough? I think you can go ahead and exert the lucky dime, gain a single lore from the Scrooge McDuck, and you might have to send the Scrooge McDuck on a challenge here. To just clear some of this stuff off the board. You can get after this Hades right now if you pop this Vitalosphere, as Bell is going to get on in. So you're just really trying to jam as many characters to the field of play as possible. And you're going to just pass. You're electing not to challenge or engage. Interesting indeed. I just didn't have enough ink to pop the Vitalosphere and take out the Hades. So never mind.
Yeah. And if you challenge in, you're likely just going to lose that Scrooge for free. And with him having 2 popsicles out, he's just going to heal it up, and you've kind of lost the Scrooge for for I guess a trade for some lore would be it. But let's see what Chris does here. He's likely just going to quest with everything. He's kind of pretty much happy to see that lucky dime there because he takes a whole turn off. Now this Friends is going to do good at kind of refilling his hand and allow him to stay in the game should the Be Prepared off the top come, which is looking like one of the only outs that Joey has to stay in this game at this point.
Just hoping. I think what Joey is going to need, I think you're going to need that Tamatoa Tamatoa is so shiny. Bling Bling has hit the board right now and get dimed up for 2. And you have to hope that your opponent can answer it, which I'm certain, like you said, J-Bomb, he's probably death gripping this Inferno Schemer, just waiting for his opportunity to slam a Hades. But get that lore and look at that McDuck Manor. That's a very strong manor, J-Bomb. This is looking great for Chris.
Yeah, there's nothing I like doing than playing a manor when I have the board control. It's very rare that you get to draw into a manor at that exact situation, but those are the kind of manors where you just finish an opponent off that you have the lead on, because it's near impossible to answer both of them in a single turn, or answer everything in a single turn, the characters and the locations included.
Yeah, I think at this point, Chris, is just like, Be Prepared is not real. You don't have it. You're not good enough to draw it. And I think a Be Prepared here could turn this thing right back around, because you could go Vitalosphere, pop it on the Scrooge, bail a Scrooge, take out the manor, play Be Prepared, and the game, we got a whole new game. Granted, you're still going to be behind in resources in hand, but I think with the dime already comfortably established, you can start to climb back into this thing. So Be Prepared or bust, I think, is the name of the game here.
Yeah, so interestingly, there is Lorthal on the board. So one thing has to be dealt with to survive another turn. Now, the also interesting thing is, if we play the big Tamatoa, is that enough for Lorthal ourselves if we were able to activate the dime here? I don't know if we have the ink at this point. We still do. Oh, we can still ink and play it. So yeah, so we still have the ink if we have exactly big Tamatoa here. We can double trade with our Scrooge and Bell into the Hades and take 2 lore. That'll let our opponent go to 18. And we have a big Tamatoa out, gaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore. Yeah, I think that would be game, actually, if somehow we could play big Tamatoa and not be answered. But it looks like that is not the line we have, unfortunately. And obviously, I'm not sure we probably have a Be Prepared either, since we're using our Vitalosphere to take out this McDuck Manor.
And we are going after the manor. We are sending some ink, and it is the Maui Hero to All who's going to be able to come down and clear the Tamatoa or the Hades. Probably, I guess I go after Tamatoa just in case he is a little bit more versatile, but the Hades could be bounced, I suppose. So you're going to take the Hades in this position, and you're just going to try to stabilize, taking Lorthal off the board. And is that what do you think about this spot now? I think you need to get to some. I still think you need to Be Prepared turn soon. These evasive characters are going to get away with it.
Yeah, you're not, the game's not over, which is good for Joey, but I still do not like the position he's in. He's really just kind of playing to not lose at this point, because no matter what he does, Chris has still a bit of cards in his hand and some follow-ups should the board get cleared. It was very good for Joey to answer that McDuck Manor, because now if he draws the Be Prepared, he set himself up to stay in this game another couple turns.
And we are gearing up to maybe start continuing to board fight a little bit. I think if I'm Chris, I'm saying get the lore. Let's get them things questing. I think that's what they are going to do. Never mind. We're on the same frequency there. So we're going to push this thing all the way up to 16, putting lethal damage back in play. Joey needs to get to the Be Prepared yesterday, as we're going to take a Finders Keepers. Huge Finders Keepers coming in for Chris, who is feeling all the energy. And that Finders Keeper takes the win right out of my sails, because now the Be Prepared isn't even that good, because the resource value that you just got from that Finders Keeper was way too huge.
Yeah, I really like this Finders Keepers here. You're putting Lorthal out. Obviously, something is going to get answered in the Tamatoa. So if he doesn't answer anything, he'll be at 19. So you're basically forcing a Be Prepared here. And so he's going to be prepared if he has it regardless. And so you're saying, I'm going to get some resources for when this happens and set up. And now I'm actually setting up Lorthal with the Tamatoa being banished. And so this puts Joey in a check standpoint where he needs to answer something here, or he's toast.
Absolutely. The only thing we can really clear right now is going to be that Tamatoa Happy as a Clam. Maui can take that down. You could even pop a popsicle, no, you still would lose it there, as that only get you up to one damage on the willpower. You still would get banished there, but you need to be prepared still. You've been hoping for it. I know these Sapphire and Ruby items players have been getting very greedy with their be prepared usage in this strategy. And I know they've been kind of reducing the amount of that they play, but now this board is just so evasive. Do you have the Sisu? Where's your removal? This seems what's happening here?
Yeah, we didn't talk about Sisu much, but there it is, and that is actually going to keep him in the game for another couple turns here. So very, very, very timely Sisu. And Sisu, he's no weenie with the lore there. He's gonna be questing for a lot with that lucky dime out, and now the race is on. And so just like that Sisu has put Joey kind of back in the driver's seat of this.
Absolutely, that Sisu can quest and get dimed again for another 6-piece. That can start to put the clock on. That'll put you at 15 next turn if we can't answer the Sisu. Certainly, there's going to be another Infernal Schemer. I would only imagine. I mean, there he is, right on time. The Hades is going to go ahead and send the Sisu right on down to the Inkwell, and Iago's free and clear to quest in for another one. Are we challenging? Is it time to board fight? One card in hand. I'm questing. Give me another little 17 there, and go put Lorthel damage back and play again. So presenting Lorthel every turn, and passing back on over to Joey, who needs to get to be prepared again, finally.
Yeah, the Blurple player with 5 cards in hand having a Hades, that's almost as likely as Habibi topping a whole new world with no cards in hand. And so it's going to happen. So we were very expecting that Hades to be there. And so now we're just going to play this Elsa, not really for any value from her effect, but we just want to keep putting Lorthel pressure on the board and making him answer anything. And so this is going to be a little more difficult to answer via another Sisu. So this is going to be another put Joey on, have the be prepared, or it's game over. And so this is a very back and forth 1-2 punch.
And do you have it? I think Chris did extend into this thing, and I like the tenacity. Either you got it or you don't. Show me your moves. We're playing to win this game. I'm not planning for the trip back, as we are sending the ink. Do you have the be prepared or don't you? I like that a lot. A lot of people like to half in the bag it. Chris is like, nah, we're all bagging it today. Quest for 2, be prepared is the line. Do you have it?
Yeah, let's see if he has it. We're taking a little bit of time to think. I would have, if I had it, I am just quest, be prepared. I'm a little early. I shouldn't have sang it until we do it, but I don't think it's coming. So
you went kind of cowardly lying there from Wizard
of
Oz.
I was.
I was the king of the forest type beats there. That's pretty good though. Still 10 out of 10. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, Lorcana villain would be very pleased.
Okay. He wants to keep his job though. He don't want to get it. He doesn't want to lose it there. As we are still thinking, if I got how far I'll go, I'm singing it. I'm going for it. You got to gamble. You got to scare money, don't make money. As I thought this match was going to be yours to win, but your deck kind of just fell apart there down the stretch. You weren't able to clear these characters as Chris found a way to win. Looking at the hand, I think it's going right on into Scoopville, as you've seen enough here. It's going to be going on into a game number 2, into the battlefield. So far, so good in this round. They have not suffered a loss yet, as Joey's going to have to do some heavy lifting now that you know the cat is out of the proverbial bag. But what does he need to do, J-Bomb? How does he win if you're Joey?
I think he just wants to draw Sapphire Coil and get that kind of train going. This was kind of a weird draw for Joey, where he really never had his full game plan on. He never saw Automatoa to play the dime for free, and so he had to hard cast the dime, and that's never something you want to do as this deck, because that takes like a whole turn off versus Blurple, which you never want to give Blurple a turn to just start free questing. And so that's how they're going to get you. And so as you saw, Blurple kind of took the first half of the game off, didn't put any pressure on, but Joey just didn't have any gas or threats to play down of his own, and so he just sort of fizzled out and answered a couple things, but just didn't really have any pressure of any kind that game. And so next game, we're going to want a combination of getting that Sapphire Coil out early and actually putting some character pressure and getting some quick answers to the early threats from Blurple out.
And we saw that Fishbone Quill be used quite aggressively too. I'd probably like to see Joey like to kind of keep those resources a little bit. Maybe you can get more value out of those things. I'm not sure if there was a breaking situation, but we saw a lot of Fishbone Quill use, but not a lot of use of the ink. Aside from that Lucky Dime play, we didn't see any Tomatoas. We didn't see any Be Prepares. We saw one Sisu. We didn't see really any use of all that ink that you were ramping so aggressively to use. So I learned that early on. If you're ramping, it's got to be ramping for a purpose like that. You got to use that ink, I would assume. But I mean, I can't tell the concept of him. I know Joey's a very strong Ruby and Sapphire player, so clearly they're in tune with the deck. But I just like to see that ink get used a little bit more aggressively, at least from my position. As Chris probably wants to do exactly what he just did in that previous round, because it worked out quite swimmingly for the Blurple player. But we're round number 2 underway. Let's get it.
Yeah, and we should note that Joey did alter 6 cards last game and still had a decent start, I'd say. He had the workshop, he had the ramp, he just didn't really have any 2 follow-ups. So let's see, he's going to send back, it's either 3 or 4, I'm not sure which pile he's sending back to the Shadow Realm here, but it looks like he's going to be drawing 4 from his altar. And so when Ruby Sapphire is only doing 3 or 4 cards, that means that they've got a pretty good hand, and they're just probably looking for another Popsicle or an Inkable or another early play, because if they're only altering 4, they definitely have ramp.
Absolutely, and sending back those Sisus, sending back those big Tamatoys, kind of anything you want to draw into, I send them back. But I gotta be very careful. I know you're the altar leader right now with the Altar Academy. I've been learning, man. Just if it's good enough, it's good enough. Don't try to go
Right.
chasing waterfalls, man. That's what I tell myself every time I alter my hand. Don't go chasing waterfalls, man. Just ride with it. If you can ride it, ride it. Don't try to. You can't get perfect all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, just that basic rule, a curve is good. Just have a nice curve and don't forfeit the early game, and you'll have a shot in any game because you'll draw into all your other stuff. That's kind of the one lesson I've just keep seeing in all of the Altar Academy videos.
Absolutely, but it looks like we are on our way. So it is going to be Joey back on the play again. Maybe you can get a turn 1 Popsicle into a Bell. I think it's a pretty cool play that this deck has access to as well. Or maybe you just want to get a turn 1 Vitalosphere. It's going to be down as an Inkwell into a Popsicle. Can you complete the Trinity? Can you play the Bell?
Yeah, I'm actually not the biggest fan of Bell on 1, especially when you're on the play against Blurple. Unless they have a Bell as well, they're really not going to put too much pressure. And so those early resources are pretty important because you kind of dwindle down fast. And so this is not my favorite matchup for Bell. It's definitely not a bad play, but there's other things that I'd like to open with and put up first. But see here, the Blurper player does have the Bell, so that is going to be pressure, and so this would have been a situation where I would have liked the Bell myself.
Absolutely,
but
still at the same time, maybe that's a good thing to put into your Inkwell to help fuel yourself into the late game. So maybe Bell on 1 is not automatic. Automatic, that's his name. I did it. I did the thing, and then we're going to go Tipo here, who's going to send another card down into the Inkwell. Ramp has been concluded. Does Chris have the ability to ramp as well in response?
Yeah, and we're going to really, really, really hope from Joey's side here, from his perspective, to not see a Sing Friends on the other side, because that is very, very devastating. We do see the sale, so he's got one last chance to hit it here. And if that is the play, that's going to put Chris off to one of the
he got it too.
Yeah, insane starts.
Holy moly, donut shop. We do get to the Friends on the other side off of the sale the other way. See, unless he just had it in hand already and just wanted to really style on the opponent, you're going to go ahead and ink the Popsicle, play the Popsicle. So now you have 2 Popsicles in rotation already. Things are looking great for Chris again, as Joey has hate to see that. I think that's one of the strongest plays you have. Bell, Sing Friends, you can't lose.
Yeah, there's plan Bs, there's plan As, and then there's this, what you want every game. And so this is the start that Chris wants. Unstoppable start, really. Joey's just going to have bomb after bomb after this to answer this really, really, really fast start, because we're likely going to see the Genie come out next turn or another 4-drop and just start putting that lore pressure on. And so at that point, Joey's going to have to start using resources to defend that Genie lore as opposed to developing his early workshops and whatnot.
Yeah, he needs, I think at some point, you're going to have to establish one of those Sapphire coils sooner or later. We're paying 4 ink. It is the Kita of our own. It's back-to-back sightings of Kita in set 8. That's a card that was not on my radar, but we have 2 ICL matches in Sapphire, and Kita has been featured in both of them. What do you think about this Kita?
I'm not a huge fan, just because it's a great card for what it does and its use. My only problem with it is these decks that play it are usually behind on the turn that you play Kita. And it's usually in the spot of Grammatala. And so Grammatala is able to either sing how far I'll go or challenge the board. And so it's kind of tough in that situation like this, where I don't know actually if you even wants to challenge the bell. So in this situation, actually, the Kita is showing her true purpose where you don't really even need to challenge the bell and you can just get some nice free ink and just kind of go into the zoomies here and taking the turn and priority back from our opponent's very, very fast start. But we are going to want to answer that Genie because that lore gets out of hand very fast.
Absolutely. I would like to see a brawl coming in from Joey. Granted, that is basically an entire turn off.
Yeah.
But maybe if you can set up some scenario in which you can brawl and maybe set up a Sapphire Coil potentially or something like that to just utilize the rest of your ink and it doesn't feel as bad. But once that Genie gets loose, it's over. And if we put the Sapphire Coil down to the Inkwell, maybe you have another one. No, it's going to be Maui coming in carrying the bell.
I actually really like this Maui. I was going to suggest that this could be an alternate play because it keeps our Kita alive and or forces our opponent to play Elsa and double challenge into the Kita, which we're also kind of happy with because that stops the 2 lore from the Genie. But if we can keep this Kita alive, she'll really show why she's a better pick than Grammatala and kind of make me eat my words of what I said in the last turn of why I'm not a fan of her. But this is the exact situation where Kita is doing exactly what she does better than Grammatala, whereas you kind of now have the board and you're going to just get all of this free ink and just go to infinity while your opponent is trying to catch up.
Yeah, you could. I know that they can play some number of crabs. You will take a turn off essentially by playing a crab and base boosting this Genie, clearing the Kita, and then vibing from there. But that'd be a great sign. If I'm Joey, I'd love to see that if that's going to be your play because that means Genie's not questing, and you're fine if Genie's not questing because you're not losing. And I think that is something we gotta think about there. As are you that concerned about this Kita? This is a decision you have to make. Chris is in the thought vault, think tank, hardcore mode. Do you take out Kita here?
I'm taking out Kita here because Kita. When am I going to take out the Kita otherwise? And Kita's going to just start going to the moon with this ink, and so it's not a play you want to do. It's kind of a play you have to do out of necessity. Where this was my only play line. It doesn't feel good. I'm going almost -2 at this point into that Genie with that Peter Pan, and I'm taking a whole turn off. We can all agree it's not a good turn, but you have to trade into it out of necessity if that's our only play for the turn. And so I like the play out of that aspect, but it's obviously not what we want to be doing.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly as Kita does fall, and I'm sure Joey enjoys to see her hit every stair step on the way down. As we're going to take 3, the workshop is established. Do you have another ink for the popsicle? They always have the popsicle. We'll draw here. We'll pay another to get another draw in with the popsicle. Now you have another popsicle. They never have the second popsicle. It's insane. No way.
Yeah, and even though Chris had that lightning start with the Bell Sing Friends, Joey had a nice follow-up and was able to steal the advantage back with that Kita and that very weak turn by Chris. And now Joey has the workshop set up. He's got the board. He's feeling in the driver's seat and good, I have to imagine at this point.
For sure. I mean, but still the lore situation. I'm not even looking at the Ruby and Sapphire players lore total because it essentially does not matter. We know this deck, how this works at this point. It's just going to go straight from 0 to 100 super fast. But what's interesting is on Chris' side, again, very slow on the lore. He is not questing very much. He's still playing the control role a little bit, gaining some resources, just trying to set up for the end game again and starting to now put some lore going with the Genie. Elected not to send the bell in, probably correct.
Yeah, definitely correct. Not to send. You just send it into a free banishment by the Maui, and really for 1 lore when you're at 3, it's not something you really are excited about. But Chris did what these decks want to do, and he drew and played 2 popsicles before getting that Tamatoa down. And so the Tamatoa is basically just a nice Flaversham right there, getting those 2 pops back, allowing us to now heal that Genie back to full, which is not inconsequential. And
for sure.
We're throwing haymaker after haymaker. The double Maurice's workshop is now going to mean that Joey is never going to run out of resources for the rest of this game.
Yeah, he brings out the low value Sisu, who's not really doing too much. And I'm thinking all the way back to that Sapphire Coil that got inked way earlier on. How cool would that Sapphire Coil be now? That shifts Sisu as a tremendous threat, but right now it is just a 3 calls 1/1 evasive. Maybe you can finish off this Genie if they exert. You can slam it in, but still, I think that shift Sisu is going to provide some sort of threat, but not too much because Bell and Tamato will be able to resist.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the thinking and the line is for that Sisu, because you are going to go to 8 ink. I guess maybe you don't have an inkable, and this guarantees you a shift if you want to. It also means if they don't play the Popsicle from the opponent's side, that if he does quest, maybe you trade into the Genie with your Sisu. But overall, I think we were just trying to play something on the board and use our ink while we have it, instead of just passing with a lot of open ink.
Absolutely. And just healing that Genie, just like you said, is quite good. And now you're able to get another Tamatoa play in, and now your Genie is free and clear to quest, even with the shifted Sisu. Or shifted Sisu will clear it, but you're just going shift to clear one character at this point because you don't have a Sapphire Coil established, man. Hate to see it. I think they got to prioritize that Sapphire Coil, honestly, in these items.
Yeah, and these 2 Tamatoas really mean that although Joey's going to have infinite resources from these workshops, it takes ink and time to get those resources. And so these Tamatoas don't really take too much ink and time. They're a big body. You're gaining 2 lore and drawing a bunch of cards. And so that's doing a lot more on these turns than what Joey's doing. And so Joey is now back into playing catch-up mode. He's going to at least get to take out this Tamatoa for free with the Maui, thanks to the heal. And there is the shift. And we do notice he does not go to the 8 ink. So maybe he does have a lot of uninkables clogging and set that shift up to make sure he could take out that Genie. And so now I'm actually liking the naked little Sisu, as they say.
Yeah, he definitely was telegraphing a potential shift line, and he did have the shift line. I think Chris not playing into it too aggressively, able to get some value from it. Sisu still hanging out there, able to also immediately come in and quest for that 3 right away. I think is another huge value of shifting over hard playing, and also you preserve that card in hand. So a Tamatoa here coming in for Joey would be tremendous if you got the Happy as a Clam to get those 2 Popsicles back, get that workshop rolling. I think you can really force yourself into the late game here if you could find that Happy as a Clam.
Yeah, and you definitely have the board now. And so we're going to see what Chris does here, if he can do a lot to fight for the board back. That is probably the biggest thing you can do to fight the board back. As a Ruby Sapphire player, Elsa is very annoying and very frustrating because you never have more than a couple characters out. And when you do have characters out, they're usually pretty large. And so this thing really puts a stamper in your step and slows you down tremendously.
Electing to go ahead and freeze dry the Tipo and the Sisu and challenge and banish the Maui. Interesting approach there. I think you could have even kept that Bell around for another turn if you really want to give it up like that. But we are finding a Popsicle, getting our draws in, doing our thing, a double workshop, doing exactly what you pay it to do. 4 ink left. Another Maui here would be powerful. Tamatoa.
Yeah, definitely another Maui would be the best possible answer we have on this specific turn. And so we do have that, so that's good. So Joey is not out of it yet. That would have been a lot of lore pressure. 5, putting Chris up to 14. And so that Maui is going to keep it still within range. And he is going to have his Sisu back online unless Chris does something drastic this turn as well.
We haven't seen any bounce yet coming in for Chris. So maybe you could potentially reset this Elsa and hold it for a later date. But Maui is also threatening an answer to the Elsa if you ever exert this Spirit of Winter. And then that's going to be a problem. So Maui, ultimate huge card there in that situation. But now Chris needs to make something happen. You hate to send this Hades into this Sisu to double ramp, but maybe you send the Hades into the Maui potentially.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I'd probably send the Hades into the Maui because you do not want to give this type of deck infinite ink, because with the workshops, 1 Popsicle and then they're able to just use all of that ink. They can use 25 ink if they got that Great Stone Dragon going. So
for sure.
hazing this deck in one of these slow grindy matchups is very, very scary. Oh, he's actually going to trade and take. Oh,
wow,
okay.
What a play!
I get it.
I love
I get
Bell.
it.
Yeah, that's basically like a Rapunzel in this Blurple Sapphire and Amethyst deck. Huge play coming in as the accomplished Mystic comes in and just tremendous backbreaking blow as we'll go ahead and heal to full and play the Manor. That is trouble right there, J-Bomb.
That is a turn. That's a turn for the ages. You did everything. You cleared the board, except for Tipo, but you cleared the board, and in all intents and purposes, you set up a McDuck Manor. You have 5 lore still on the board. That's tiresome, or that's scary territory for Joey. Joey, even a Be Prepared is not the greatest. Another Maui would perhaps be the best answer for this, and then maybe just putting 1 damage into the McDuck Manor, but you've used a lot of your Mauis already, so it's going to be very unlikely that he has another one. And I know most of these lists aren't on 4 Mauis anymore. They'd love to be, but there just isn't the space with how many items you need to play to make Scrooge just the efficient duck that he is.
Absolutely, and this is just, oh my goodness, what a devastating Bell the accomplishment. I don't think I've seen a stronger Bell in all my days. That's this impossibly strong Bell, as now you are back against a wall. You have the McDuck Manor established, so you're putting 7 lore next turn, which is huge, as this Scrooge McDuck needs to hit a low-cost item immediately so you can start to draw some cards, because you're going to need something very powerful to get out of the situation.
Yeah, I don't think Scrooge was it, especially because you couldn't play him for free, surprisingly, at this stage in the game. And so just everything went wrong for Joey in that last turn. He seemed to be in the driver's seat. And we take
Hold up. Gold coin? We're doing gold coin. We're out here gold coining. I love it. I love it, man. Gold coin, for those at home who don't know. Exert this card, pay 1 ink, banish this item, ready chosen character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. So maybe you can gold coin this McDuck Manor. Well, you don't have a Vitalosphere, though, so you need Vitalosphere to go along with it.
Yeah, exactly that. The gold coin makes kind of short work of this McDuck Manor. So really, that's what you want it for, is for these situations where they don't have a lot on the board. I mean, they do have a lot, but you just need 1 or 2 ready characters extra, and you can kind of tear through it all. And so the double McDuck, actually, this one will get to be played for free. We finally get a Sapphire Coil, and we'll see if it's going to be enough, because the lore is starting to get kind of out of hand for Joey and from Chris's side.
Yeah, because it's looking like next turn we're going to be going for a full 7. So that'll drop you all up to 16. Lorthal will be in play, and you're going to have to do something very dramatic in order to come back, as Chris has 3 cards still remaining in hand. If you have a way to, I don't know if the Blurple strategy is still playing goats in bounce. I haven't seen anything to indicate to me that those cards are in this deck. Potentially, they could be, as T-Po's going to slam his right into the Manor for 1. That's my T-Po smacking Manor for 1.
Yeah,
he did it. He did
in set 5, I'd like to keep a Tipo counter in Ruby Sapphire Mirror matches to see how much the one Tipo could quest for. Because if one player got a Tipo and the other player didn't, he could go for 5 to 8 lore easy, and that would be kind of the difference in the game, is that those Tipo quest lines. And so Chris is going to go to 16 lore here, still have a McDuck Manor out, and just be feeling very good. And so Peter Pan going to come take out that little Tipo, and more importantly, put more lore pressure. That's a McDuck that Joey did not want to see. Yeah. That is gonna probably be the nail in the coffin, because even if you can clear this first McDuck with the 2 Scrooges, you're gonna need to be prepared to survive to the next turn, and then Be Prepareding puts Chris at 18 lore from the McDuck Manor, and then how do you kill the McDuck Manor the next turn, or how do you banish the McDuck Manor the next turn?
I'm sure you can do something with this gold coin. I mean, the gold coin is going to have to be involved. I think a Vitalosphere is going to have to be involved. A Maui is going to have to be involved. A Tamatoa is going to have to be involved. Some big characters swinging for a lot, and a Be Prepared. It's just so many cards you're going to need.
Yeah, we need exactly Be Prepared this turn, and then we need to set up another character. And then we need to hope Chris doesn't really have any threats to play, or he has threats that we can also counter while countering the McDuck Manor. And so this is going to be kind of lifeline after lifeline. And is that the dreaded? Yep.
There it is. Wow. So you did have the Be Prepared, but is it too late? I love having my manor up with Be Prepared because I just know that manor's going to go for at least. And a Scrooge for free. Hold up. Okay. I ain't heard no bell.
So the stars are aligning, and we are seeing the possibility of what can be gotten. So that answers the McDuck Manor. This is gone. Incredible.
It's gone.
Yeah, if ironically, if the gold coin was still active, he could.
Oh yeah, he can't exert it. That's right.
I still think you go and put the damage on now,
though. Probably because he's gonna get Hades here, but I don't know. Maybe you save it. You save it for another character that you may have in hand.
Yeah,
and you can come in and Vitalosphere and Gold Coin next turn and clear it, and just give up that to Lore. But I think that Joey agrees with you, as we are going to pay the cost and put 6 damage into that McDuck Manor now. You can't halt Judge. I don't think you can do that. I think that card must be exerted in order for it. Let's get the Judge involved.
I don't remember the exact text on it.
I'm looking at it now. I'm gonna check it out. Let's pause the action. That card must be exerted and was already exerted by the Scrooge. So let's. Hey Judge, can we stop the plate? I don't want to. I want to make sure that's correct because the gold coin. Yeah, you might. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I catch them every now and then. A broken clock is wrong twice a day, and I get one every now and then. But the gold coin cannot be activated because it requires it to be exerted for its ability, and you cannot. Good call. We got it caught. We're team effort here.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was me, but I wasn't 100%. So I'm glad you had the confidence to go in there and get this taken care of.
I've been studying these cards. Okay, I have been reading these. I know what gold coin is, and I know what it does, and that you can't do that. Okay, I'm a little bit confident. Okay, but anyway, as Genie is up, you need to lock in. Look, if you haven't seen that card before in your life, but we got Genie up, and this is still a huge amount of pressure coming in from even manor no manor. You still would be in a tremendous problem here. You do have the Sapphire Coil still floating in hand, and there it is. So maybe you can get a Sisu going. Sisu?
Yeah. Sisu would be very good. It would take out the board and the McDuck Manor, and so you would still be in this game. I think, actually, with what you said last turn, that we would have liked to save the Vitalosphere, and with that gold coin, make sure we have the answer. But there was no punish from Chris's side, as that Scrooge did not get banished, and so luckily for Joey, he was not punished by that unfortunate kind of circumstances there. And so now we do have our 2 Sapphire Coils. We're still digging. We need an answer to this Genie. Is it going to be Brawl or Small Sisu? It's got to be at this point. We're still digging.
Yeah, you're all in. You're all in on the dig train. You need Brawl. You need Sisu. You have Bell going down to the Inkwell. We can reduce both of these characters. You need a Brawl or Sisu. You have to play these cards at a high clip, and it looks like 3 ink getting exerted right now, and it's going to be the Brawl. Look at that, as Scrooge can then faithfully clear this McDuck Manor, his own home.
Yep, and now we just have to answer every character for the rest of the game, and so easy as can be for Joey. He's got it. Of course, yeah. I'm kidding there. Obviously, it's a very, very large hurdle to get through to answer every character every turn for the remainder of the game, especially against a deck like Blurple, who is never going to brick for a turn on these characters, because their deck is 2 things: characters and cards that draw characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can happen, though. We've seen Ruby Sapphire. I've seen them pull off some serious miracle tricks from time to time. They have cleared while questing, and then a Sisu here, a Be Prepared there, Medusa here, and boom, you're so back. But it's going to be a very uphill battle going up to 19. A Merlin Goat, and just put us all out of our misery right now. And you got 2 more characters coming in, so no Goat this time.
Yep, no Goat this time. And so interestingly, from turns and turns ago, I want to say about 8 turns ago, the Bell did go into the Maui, and that could have been a lore, but also it did get us 2 more lore from the Tamatoa, and so I have to look back at that. it's probably inconsequential here, but always something to consider when it gets to situations like this where you're one lore off. Was there a spot that I could have squeezed one more out? Likely not, but I always consider that in these like type of long grindy games.
Absolutely. You got to think about it, and I torture myself sometimes too. I'm sure we all do it as players. Like, oh, could I have? Would I have? How much would I? Could? And it's just a dangerous game. It's a slippery slope. Don't do it. Just play it and hope it works out for you. As this board is looking quite resilient, you can get a Sisu here to clear everything off quite cleanly if you could find one, an Ink and a Sisu, and challenge into the bell, and you are so back again for another turn at least.
Yeah, Sisu also puts you on a very nice clock where if we have dime, we just win next turn if none of our characters are answered, if I'm doing my math right. Because we get two, we might be one off, actually. But we're not doing that. We are going for the Tamatoa and are going to continue to do our draw a million cards with the popsicle plan. But the unfortunate side of that is we're not going to have enough ink to deal with Iago and Merlin Crab if we keep using all of our ink to draw cards off the popsicles. And so this is the situation where we've never run out of resources and we're gaining a million cards, but we just don't have the ability to use our ink to deal with everything.
Right. It's just not enough, as we do get the brawl onto the Iago after the Sapphire Coil, but leaving that crab up, do you need a miracle? Do you have another play? And you don't. It seems that we're going to be getting right on into Scoop Town. And
you could see the shaking of the feet from Chris there with his excitement when he realized that his opponent was out of ink and he got there.
Very well done. Well played by Chris, man. I think both players played it great, but Chris negotiated some serious obstacles there and got it done, as Joey just didn't have the nutrients, man. Didn't have enough. But we're going to mute ourselves here. We're going to hop down into the booth and speak to these players. Let's talk to them. All right. We got another victory into the battlefield. Is on fire right now. Chris comes in and gets it done for the squad. Joey just could not quite get it there. But Chris, congratulations on your victory. No amethyst steal for you today. We're on Blurple. We saw some Blurple in round number 1, but you're on it this time. Talk to us about that choice. What made you bring this deck today? And is there any spice in your strategy that you want to kind of talk about?
So I like playing kind of amethyst mid-rangey tempo decks, and I just feel like Blurple is kind of in a better spot. I knew I'd be going second if Elias won going first, which I had full confidence in him doing really, really well. Blurple kind of lets you catch up because you get the ramp, you can get the bell out early. Like, it's good against a bunch of decks. It still wants to go first, but like it's a good deck to go second with, I think. So we kind of just landed on that. I know my boy Joseph also is a big Blurple fan. So the two of us have been kind of bouncing ideas off of each other for deck lists and taking them to tournaments and stuff like that. And he kindly allowed me to take the deck for today. And he's got something else cooked up for round 3. But yeah, the deck's been fun. Purple Steel, I'm going to sound stupid saying this because I guess it just won a gigantic tournament with brooms. But I didn't think it was as strong of a deck overall across the whole meta. And we kind of figured that this is just kind of a safe going second all around pick, and that's what we rolled with.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have two more points I want to throw into before I toss it over to J-Bomb, because there's a lot of things to talk about this game. We could talk about this match for the next 25 minutes easily.
It was a weird one.
There are two things that jumped off the page at me. And both of those games, you came out of the gate super slow. I know you're not playing any of the low-cost characters, but were you feeling a little vulnerable there coming out of the gate so slow by not questing? And also talk to us about that Bell, the accomplished mystic. Huge Bell play, I think. Was probably one of the biggest Bells I've seen with that Elsa Bell swing. Can you just talk about those two cards and about your trepidations at the slow start that you took off with?
Yeah, so game 1, I was really not looking forward to because my hand after the mull, I ended up with Pan, Hades in my hand, and I had just nothing to go with early, so I had to just be patient and try to draw as many cards as humanly possible, and be patient and hopefully turn things around. And to be fair, he bricked on items pretty hard in that first game, which gave me a chance to kind of Like I think I had six or more cards in my hand almost the whole game.
Yeah.
And if he was quicker and got to curve out, like I don't think I would have taken that one. So he had to stumble a bit. The second game, again, I had to get like a little bit creative, I guess, with the plays. And then I noticed that I had a chance to kind of turn it around, and I didn't want him to get his engine going. So I inked the manor one turn to get my other manor out, knowing I had 3. So then he managed to pull the second one out, and I was a little frustrated with myself, but it ended up like barely just being enough because he could have turned the corner there. In those last few turns as well too. And then that bell is a really, really good card for this deck because it can you know you have it and you can set it up. Your opponent can kind of play around it, but you can kind of force situations where you're able to take advantage of the effect, and then you have a big quester on board saving another big quester, and it's like a huge tempo swing. So that card just belongs in the deck perfectly.
Yeah, that one turn that you had where the opponent kind of was in the driver's seat with the Sisu out, you went with the Elsa and then the Bell and then the McDuck Manor. You went from kind of being a little behind to just firmly, I'm about to win this game in 2 turns. And that was one of the most exciting turns I've seen in a long time. So that was really, really cool to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. I needed to be patient there, like get the lore in as well too, and then kind of like take advantage of it next turn, knowing that my board was only going to get punished by kind of a V prep there, which also deletes his board. So, and I had the manors in hand, so either way, I was kind of like, I can make this sort of big tempo play, like top the things down, move the counters over, and then kind of build up the manors afterwards, which
for sure,
luckily was just enough.
Absolutely. But taking nothing away from you, we got Automatic, who is in the building as well, playing that Ruby and Sapphire again, playing that items version. I love this deck a lot. I think it is one of the very best decks in this format. I know you would agree, but you have some text in your deck as well. Can you talk about what you think about this deck in this meta and the text that you had and what went wrong in this match to end up with this result from your perspective?
Yeah, I think as a team, we kind of we're trying to game the ETB guys a little bit and trying to look up their past performances and see where they're seeded and see what games they were playing. So we kind of placed them on a different order. So I was teching my deck a little bit more towards like a Steel Song version. I thought I was going to play Habibi. So I cut my fish hooks, which I think would have been an all-star this game, those gold coins. Which I never really played it. A friend of ours locally who plays red blue all the time is a big believer in gold coin, and the fact that it has a tap ability, I'm very upset with right now. But that card normally is a fish hook in that slot, which would have been way better into those
absolutely,
and into those Iagos, and into those Peter Pans, and into those bells. And situation, it would have been better. But other than that, then the Medusas as well. Just wanted to have more brawl-esque effects. And one of the times that I did have it in my hand, I never was able to get a foil out. Same thing with Sisu's. I wasn't able to effectively clear the board fully. Yeah, I just worked pretty hard early game in game 1. I think I was telling him, I think my first 3 out of 5 draws were uninkables, and I got 4. And so it was just like, luckily, I had the Fishbone Quill, but that whole game I had 1 or 2 cards and he had 8. And then game 2, very similar story, but I had my engine involved. But yeah, overall, it was a fun match. I love playing against these guys, great group of guys, and yeah.
Absolutely, and we kind of sense a little bit of the brick ability, the bricking issues that you had, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for you this time. But J-Ball, I'm sure you got some things. I'm hogging all the interview time. I'll let you cook. Oh, my bad, J-Ball.
No, it's exactly what you said. In game 1, I usually try and predict the hands, and I told JTZ I'm stumped here. I don't know what your hand could be. It's got to be like uninkables, but they're not. It's not items. It's not big Tamatoa. So I was kind of like, what is he working with here? And so it wasn't exactly what you wanted to have. But yeah, could you enlighten us on what you had when you were down to those 2 or 3 cards?
8 drop Tamatoa the entire game.
Oh, gotcha.
And I just really couldn't fit it in because I knew it was going to probably get Hades immediately.
Yeah.
So I wanted to develop the Dime first to be able to utilize it. But then I think the turn that I hard casted the Dime to draw a card, he then just went super wide, and I just could not effectively play that Tamatoa and just lose even more tempo on the board. And then I think one of the biggest misplays I had in game one is I think I TPO'd a workshop, my second workshop, which I think would have helped out on those top deck items that I drew later in the game to just propel me a little bit more into my hand size and such. But yeah, it was just uninkable after uninkable. Fishbone Quill put in a lot of work that game, but it wasn't enough to carry.
Absolutely,
Gotcha,
especially with no Sapphire Coil established, man. But still, I think the deck is very good. I think it's super inevitable, and I'm certain you're going to keep rolling with it as the set continues to mature a little bit more. And maybe you can ask a couple things, put those hooks back in, and other items that you might be able to. Maybe more things might break for this strategy. But it didn't work out for you tonight. This time, Otto, as you guys are back against the wall against ETB, as these guys are out swinging. But Otto, I'm gonna kick it to you again, as you can say anything that you want to say, anything you want to promote or plug. The floor is yours for any special shout outs. Otto, take it away.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. ICL, you guys are a great platform for Lorcana, especially in these dark months that we've had with not much going on. I think you guys have organized this really well. Thank you guys for the casters for just devoting your time to doing all this. Thank you to ETB for beating our butts. But thankfully, Canada is really bad at hockey, and go Cats.
Let's go.
Oh man, it hurts.
My team, just for having a fun experience playing Lorcana together and everything. And check us out on our socials on X and YouTube, Freedom Gaming TCG, and you can find our various X handles on there. And thank you guys for having us tonight.
Absolutely. And thank you for coming out and playing. But we're going to kick it on over to Chris, Chris, I don't know if you saw on the pregame show, I abandoned my nation. Freedom Gaming is the American team. I turncoated. I went to Canadian team. You guys came out and got it done in 2020 fashion. But Chris, any special shout outs you want to give to your ETB squad or anything you want to say? The floor is now yours.
For sure. First of all, that was epic. I love that. Like, that got us so riled up. I was ready to go. That was a sick entrance. I do want to congratulate them on the hockey game win yesterday. And I want to pass along the same sentiment to Freedom. Like, it's been really fun. We've been kind of joking back and forth for the last couple days. And the hockey game yesterday, Connor McDavid actually is from our town. His family lives like 2 blocks from my house. And we were like really going for the Oilers, and these guys from Florida over here. I think one of you were at the game. They got the better of us yesterday. So that was kind of it was kind of fun going through the hockey game chirping and then the game chirping and everything. But we look forward to playing in tons of events with you guys going forward in the rest of the game. I don't know if any of you are going to be in Texas, but we will be there. Huge shout out to Luke and everybody, all the judges, commentators. I know everyone says it, but you guys all deserve it. Is kind of an awesome thing that you guys are putting on for all of us to enjoy and all the viewers to get to watch. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Twin Moon Studios, best custom playmats in the game, and game sleeves, the finest out there. Into the Battlefield, I guess this is a shameless self plug, but intothebattlefield.ca, best game store in Canada.
Let's go.
And yeah.
Can't confirm like a Don King perm. But gentlemen, thank you guys again for your participation. I'd like to thank the players as well. You guys thank us. We thank you for sacrificing your time to be a part of the ICL, because without you, there would be no us, and we together make a team. So congratulations to you, Chris, and the Enter the Battlefield squad. But we're going to finish the drill. We're not done. We got a round 3. We're going to play it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So Pandemonium, can you complete the drill, or will Freedom Gaming be able to save their face a little bit? But gentlemen, we're going to hop back into the booth. We'll let you guys go to celebrate with your squads or commiserate as it may be. And we're gonna find round number 4 or round number 3, excuse me. J-Bomb, back to the booth.
Back to the booth. All right, did we get it on the first try?
I got it. I'm here. You got there so fast. How did you do that so fast?
Oh, I was ready for it. I'm ready. I've got my finger on the trigger. Yeah.
Okay. I was not locked in. You were absolutely on a different wavelength. But J-Bomb, it's always really fun to do this. You should come back and do more ICL broadcasting. I think you got a great voice and a great read, great analysis ability. J-Bomb, Alter Academy is helping us as well. So come on back in sometime when you have time available. Thanks for coming in such short notice as well. But any shout outs that you want to give before you say your goodbyes?
Yeah, just thank you for ICL for letting me have the opportunity to come cast. It has been awesome, especially to cast with you, JDZ. You've taught me a whole lot and gotten me to go with your high energy, and I love that. So
Let's go.
And it's kept me so entertained in Disney Lorcana through these past couple months and this full like year almost of watching this. It's been like 9 months already of this going on. So ICL is just great. Wonderland and Rod Gaston for kind of being the initiators of it, and so it's been a great ride. And then obviously thank you to World Class Cards. If you haven't already, sign up for their Metafy. It's great. You get a bunch of access to great articles, great people giving great advice and deck help, deck questions, anything you got. It's a wonderful time over there. And so, and to the Chicagoland community, I've never thanked you on here yet, but you guys, I miss you guys, and I want to see you at a lot more events. So if you're watching, shout out to all the Chicagoland people, and love you guys too.
Let's go. Chi-Town, stand up. We out here. But that's going to be J-Bomb, and he will not be forgotten. But we will be bringing in another absolute powerhouse of the cell, pure mitochondria energy. Back at it again. Curls better not be shaken. I'm going to lose my mind. We got none other than, you know him, you love him, Mr. Garrick. Key issues, Garrick, from the Garrick's Lorcana layer. The curls are popping. Oh my goodness, he looks so good. That should be illegal to look this good out here on the stream. Come on now, help me out.
What's up, JDZ? We are back in the building for the ICL playoffs. Absolutely loving it. ETB going up 2-0 and taking it home, but
they're going
still
hard.
excited for round 3. I mean, we had a crazy upset last week with the Loungers taking out T and Who, but this week, the top seed, the number 2 seed, able to get it done. But we got a game number 3 we still got to take a look at.
We're going to take a look, and it's ETB. They came to play. Okay, they're 2-0 right now, but they have not took a game loss. They've been straight up 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 all the way through this thing, as Joseph Quigley is going to try to complete the drill. But Brian Pieria, who is that? Is that Sploosh Magoo's government name? Who is this Brian? I need Sploosh and or Magoosh to be located and put into this dojo right here. I don't know who Brian is, but whoever that guy is, hopefully he can absolutely quest with the best of them, because you got nationally ranked Joseph Quigley out here who's going to be out here ready to dominate. But what deck could he be possibly playing? No Blurple. Maybe he's on that shredded Under the Sea Snake. We'll see, Garrett. What do you think?
Well, I know, but I'm really excited to see what it is, and for the audience to see as well. JDZ, I mean, shout out to you. You've been on your game like ETB has been on their game. You pulled the classic LeBron James.
Hey,
that ain't our ball. That ain't our ball. He saw the golden coin and he said, "No, you got to exert that."
Yeah. We do it all here. We're team. This is a team effort, okay? And I'm telling you, I've been actively locked in and laser focused in the dojo reading these cards, so I know what that gold coin does when I saw it, and I know it don't do that. As we're gonna put the muses down into the inkwell, a little typical. Maybe we got some emerald and steel, as we got the Cricky emerald. Oh my goodness! But we're playing the Cursed Merfolk. Okay, Joseph Quigley might be mixing it up. What do you think, Garrett?
Yeah, we are coming out fast and furious with the Cursed Merfolk, one of the classic aggro cards, as the Ursula Deceiver comes down, and we'll see what we're working with. We have the EA Tempo, Baker's favorite.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Joseph Quigley has changed the game. I think they are doing a little bit of metagaming, because they thought that he'd be on that Under the Sea Stank, but he's not on it at all. He's going to be on the Emerald and Amethyst. Switched up completely, as Ursula's going to whiff mightily. What do you think about this matchup, Garrett? Who do you think is going to be in the driver's seat?
Man, one of the great things about Emerald decks going up against other Emerald decks is you can disrupt their game plan with your Ursulas and your discard cards. Right now, Joseph has a really tough decision. What's he going to go for? Is he going to go for the discard card, knowing that Prince John could be coming down next turn and that Ursula could be exerting to sing Sudden Chill? Or do you get rid of the Let the Storm Rage On, which could cleanly remove your Cursed Merfolk? It's a really tough decision.
I think he got to go chill here, man. It's just too good, but he does not agree. It's Mr. Quig is going to go ahead and get that Storm Rage On all the way up out of there, as the Prince John into a Sudden Chill. You hate to see it. That's down 1, up 1. Ursula can sing that card free and clear as well. So interesting matchup. I think this matchup can be a little closer to 50-50, but I kind of like Joseph's approach here. If you have cards like Peter Pan, Shadow Finder, and maybe even the Iago as well to come on in with some rush.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision, like you said. Hand would have been full of basically all uninkables except for the muses. If you let the Storm Rage on stay in hand, he couldn't have developed the Prince John. He couldn't have played the Sudden Chill here. He could have played the Let the Storm Rage on to try and find an inkable, but opts for the Let the Storm Rage on, valuing his Curse Merfolk staying on the board. And now you have a decision. Do you sing or challenge? And we go for a little song here as Joseph does have the discard one. Brian is going to draw one for his trouble, and it is the pull the lever.
Pull the lever going down to the discard pile. I'm pretty sure that's probably why he left the Sudden Chill, because like, okay, I want this in the discard pile anyway. And now my wrong lever goes extra hard, which we saw in hand as well. So Joseph quickly playing some 3D, 4D chess as the Cursed Merfolk are free and clear to continue to quest aggressively. We got the Ursula, who's also free and clear to quest. I don't think you have a way or a means to get through those, as we are going to ink another pull the lever. Peter Pan's out. And we'll clear the Ursula. Look at that.
Yeah, now you get a nice value trade, only putting 1 damage on each of your characters. You got rid of that Let the Storm Rage on, and you are just getting sideways, as you like to say, JDZ, getting active, getting loose.
Getting loose. Sorry. Sorry, God. All right, we're back. We're professional. We're professional. I promise you. Getting loose. That is literally the textbook. That's quintessential getting loose right there. What you just saw. Peter Pan can get loose. A lot of people don't really understand what it means to get loose or getting active, and that is a textbook definition. As the guard dog Pluto is out protecting Prince John, who's going to be able to quest, and this could be a problem. I think you need to get to an evase Iago here off the top would be pretty good. If you had access to that Spectral Parrot, you could clear this board quite nicely.
Yeah, you definitely want to get rid of the Prince John. I mean, you could go wrong lever here. See you later.
There it is.
See you, Pluto.
See you never.
No, that does not go to hand. That goes to the bottom.
See you never.
It's a prototype under the sea as the Prince John now gets removed, 1 card in hand, and things are looking great for Joseph right now.
Dang, see ya never. And that was all kind of a part of the plan, as you knew the wrong lever was there in hand. You saw the discard, the Sudden Chill. So it all worked out for Joseph Quigley. Those are some very good decisions that paid off. You sell the seeds and you started to reap, as now we are in a top deck central. Diablo, the Devoted Herald, is a pretty good top deck, but with this Peter Pan up and active, being able to sing friends too, you can't even really exert this bird unless you just want to get 1 card. Ugh,
yeah. Sing friends before the Diablo gets exerted. I mean, we see Joseph here. His plans are measured in centuries here. He planned out this entire sequence from the beginning. And look at this. Diablo back to the hand.
Oh, tempo lost there as well as Big Kit. We're out here flooding the situation now. Grab your swords would be super duper cash money if you had it. I don't know if you're playing that card in your deck right now. So you're going to bring out the more Space Goo and that Diablo again. Another kit? Do you have it?
Another kit would be brutal. But I mean, you can always potentially bounce something with the snake and play the kit back out. But Ursula gets the job done even better than Kit Cloud Kicker. I can tell you that much.
Elsa with the tap down of the Diago. What's with the what is a Diago? Why is it?
I don't know.
Why is it Diago? Why am I going? Is it Iago Diablo? I gotta clean that up. I got a week to figure this thing out. Holy moly! Donut shop talking about Diablo, and that's gonna be. Are we going right to Scoopville? Wow.
Let's just move it on, man. I mean, he had a ton of lore on board. Nothing in the hand for Brian there. Just says, let's go to game 2.
Jeez Louise. Talk about annihilation there. And it just went straight quick. We went right to Quaketown there. As Brian, he needs to enter sploosh mode immediately, or he's going to have some problems. We get more of that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Man, he's got a lot of evasive answers to this deck, so Diablo may not be sticking around. What do you think? What do you think Brian needs to do here in order to not allow that to happen again?
Yeah, going first helps. Definitely want to find that shift line, get that Diablo out as soon as possible before answers can come down for it. Typically, these decks don't have an answer to the Diablo until that 3rd turn with either Peter Pan or Kit Cloud Kicker. You could go a turn to Go-Go, for instance, to challenge into the Diablo, but again, that's not challenging until turn 3. So if you're able to get that down onto the board. And you know what would really, really help is getting a Hidden Cove as well. These Emerald Amethyst decks have a lot of 2 strength characters that are going to be going into your Diablo. So it will survive in that Hidden Cove and make things a lot more difficult. So you can get some card draws and keep that tempo up instead of losing it to the very powerful Emerald Amethyst tempo deck.
I agree with your assessment mightily. I think find a Hidden Cove, get a guy set up in there, because even the early Diablo is not even that great in this matchup because there are so many answers. You got the Kit Cloud Kicker, reset that tempo. You have the Peter Pan Shadow Finder who can come on in and just clear him quite easily. You have the Elsa coming down. You have the Wrong Lever, we saw had some great effects in that previous previous round we saw. So there are a lot of answers, and you have the what I think maybe you could have access to Mother Knows Best. There's so many things that this deck can do to help disrupt. You got the Genie as well. You have the Iago that you probably could have access to. There's a lot going on. So Diablo will not fly free in this matchup. So I think Brian Sploosh Magoosh is going to have to come up with an alternate win condition. Maybe you can rinse the hand. I'd like to see a heavy discard come in, and maybe you can out discard their drawing engines and put them in a compromised position, and then you can do the Diablo stuff later as I'd lean Prince John before I go Diablo here.
Yeah, attempted to do that last game, set up the Pluto, thought he was in a great position. Boom, wrong levered. And all the way down to the bottom of the deck, Pluto went. So you want to try to avoid that trap again, if at all possible. And it was the Cursed Merfolk that set that up with the not the Cursed Merfolk, the Sudden Chill, set up the discard there. So you're mentioning the discard game plan. It went against him in the last game.
It did, and to pull the lever into the wrong lever, I like that little flavor a lot. I know you're a big lore fan. I'm also quite the lore fan. I'm also the like a little bit of flavor in my life. This is a pretty decent start. If you can get a Shift Beast to come on in on 3, you are super back. As the morph is up and active, you might have to figure out a way to engage with this morph. I don't think you have it in the color on the draw, as Gogo Tamago is going to come on down, gain no lore, but just represent a 1 questing evasive threat.
Yep, because I was just about to mention it. Diablo can shift on the morph as well, and now look at this. You're in a precarious situation because that Gogo gets to take it for free unless you have Let the Storm Rage on. See you later. He's got to find the Kit Cloud Kicker or the Peter Pan on this turn to remove that Diablo, but the Diablo is going to get a card regardless.
Just 1 card. I think the damage has already been done. Just coming in with that tempo, being able to sing and plus and another Diablo. So you can clear 1, but can you clear both? I think might be problematic, as Sploosh is going up to 3 cards in hand. Ink into a Peter Pan is probably mandatory in this position. I think you just have to do it, as we're going to put the wrong lever down into the Inkwell. We're fiddling with 1 ink, indicating you might not have the Peter Pan as 3, and it is the Kit Cloud Kicker. Hold up, I ain't heard no bell, as we can send probably the unshifted Diablo back to the hand.
Yeah, send the unshifted Diablo back up. That way he doesn't have access to the morph yet again. I think that is the right decision, or an additional ink if he needed it, if his hand was not doing so well. But yeah, having 1 answer to a Diablo is great, but when you need to have 2, it feels pretty bad. And now you got to have an answer to this Ursula, because she is one of the scariest cards in the deck. This Emerald Steel deck, I mean, they just have 3 drops that make you quiver in your boots. They give you nightmares. They keep you up at night, man. I gotta answer all of these.
A cold, sudden chill, even.
I like
there
it
is. Hey, but seriously, I agree with you again. You got the Prince John, you got the Diablo, you have the Ursula, Deceiver of All. You just don't have enough cards to answer all of that stuff effectively. You are continuing to advance your ink there, as you're going to pay the 4, probably bringing down the Genie, and there he is. Wish fulfilled. We'll get a card, but a double sudden chill here. Prince John does double sudden chill feels
double
terrible.
Sudden chill with maybe a Muses out on turn 4 could be pretty brutal. Well, I guess it would be Ryan went first, so it'd be turn 5.
Yeah,
but
we got Kit, who's just gonna pretty safely quest for 1. Double Storm double strength. Anything that Ursula sings in this deck is just sheer misery incarnate. Okay, any song that she's capable of singing in this spot, unless it's an "I'm Still Here," and you're fine with that. But anything else is just absolutely devastating. As she is gearing up, the Muses hits the board. What is it going to be? It's a sudden chill. Ooh, brutality.
Yeah, would love to have the Prince John out doing that, but that's all right. Maybe you've got the Prince John in hand and you're setting yourself up for a double Beyond the Horizon next turn. Could be a potential blowout type play, but you're so ahead at this point. And now the Muses, look at this value.
Yeah, and you can bounce both of those characters back to the hand as well, and that'll set you up for that Beyond Horizon play that you talked about next turn. If it is going to come to fruition, that's a card that I believe has underperformed so far in set 8. I haven't really seen a lot of players getting those dramatic Beyond the Horizon plays off. It seems a bit slow, a little bit, but I'm trying to say I personally don't know about it yet. I like to see it pop off right here. We haven't seen any Beyond Horizons pop off in the ICLs thus far.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it pop off too awful much anywhere. I mean, that one match at SSG, I believe, it popped off one time, but yeah, we all thought it was going to be the Boogeyman. Not so much, but maybe it is a card to terrorize the next format after rotation. But we are in Reign of Jafar right now, and it's really not doing what everybody thought it would do. Let's see what Joseph has here. He needs something, and he needs it quick.
Yeah, if we get to the point where we, like you said, we got if you only play one of these characters, say you play that genie back to the board and you go for a Prince John Beyond the Horizon, that's some serious pop-off ability right there, because Ursula double singing with a Prince John Muse bouncing, it can get really messy next turn. I'm sure Joseph quickly has to understand the danger that you might be in. So I think you got to clear somebody off the board if you can, as Kit Cloud Kicker will do so. Probably got to send that Ursula. Yeah, I like that play a lot. And we'll bring out the Go-Go again for no damage. Just someone who can threaten this Diablo, the Devoted Herald, the Muses, Proclaimer of Heroes, standing resisted or warded, excuse me, so they can't be targeted in any way. And this looks, you still can be on the horizon if you want it, but it won't be nearly as impactful.
Yeah, not nearly as impactful, but it does also return a card to hand. The Power of the Muses, just showing it off right here. The Emerald Amethyst deck has a lot of characters with only 2 strength. If you take a look at the deck list, it is an insane amount. And there's the Prince John. Do we have...
Are we going on the Hawaiian? Are we going, Garrett? Are we going on the Hawaiian roller coaster ride?
I was just about to ask you the same question, JDZ.
Okay, we might be. We're playing 2. It's a sudden chill. Never mind. We're gonna chill. We're gonna take it easy and keep it greasy. We're not going to go sailing. We're not going to go Hawaiian roller coaster ride right now. We'll just get a little value with our Prince John, and maybe you can draw into it. Still can play it.
There goes the Merlin Goat, one of the few cards with over 2 strength in the deck.
And we'll send the Go-Go Tamago back to the hand. Are we gonna do it? No, we still haven't ripped it yet, as Diablo is exerting to quest here, which is quite nice. Cloud Kicker still on the board, so he can't bounce that back. The Go-Go cannot challenge him because it's now bounced back to the hand. You'd like to see a Peter Pan. Where are your pants? Where's the Peter Pan's located right now? Shadow Finder.
Pan could be nice. Elsa could be nice. Exerting 3. This could be the Shadow Finder. No.
It's going to be the wrong lever. We'll send that stack of Diablos back to the bottom of the deck, as the wrong lever is also going to find his way to the bottom of the deck as well. So that's a pretty clean answer. These warded characters will resist, and you cannot target them, but I'm pretty sure you're picking that Diablo either way.
Yeah, the Diablo did its job. It got so much value for Brian, as the Muses did as well, just terrorizing Joseph's board of 2 strength characters this entire game so far. But I mean, take a look at the lore totals. It's 1 to 3.
It's a lot of game left. I don't know why these Emerald Steel players have kind of been reducing the amount of Muses. I don't know what's up with that. I like Muses a lot in this deck. It seems like it's a slam dunk, especially with everything being so aggressive. I think Muses kind of Proclaim of Heroes. I think they need more cards too. What's up with Muses only having 1 card?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That is a very good point. We need a Star is Born, I think, JDZ.
Yeah, there you go. Muses choir backup singers. I don't know. I don't know what more muses we can get, but I think we need more muses. They can do some Floodborne muses would be insane. They're like I don't know, like robotics or androids or something. I think that'd be neat. As we got the Chip, who's going to trigger the Prince John again with that discarded genie. I think Pandemonium Heart is just completely rubbing hands together at this point. Hands completely rinsed. Nothing left. And we're going to continue to expand there as Ursula.
I just want her on for the lore, spend 2 ink, use all the ink for the turn at the very least. But yeah, it's a really tough position here, especially if there's a song, but I'm assuming there's not, as Brian has put the cards down and put the hand marker there. So we're just going to pass.
Yeah, we could have had a Strength of a Raging Fire, which would have been pretty good to pop the kit, bounce, as we're going to hard cast the friends on the other side off the top rope, preserving that ink, maybe for another Kit Cloud Kicker to join into the fray. But seriously, who would you want to bounce back in the situations? Ursula is going to check the hand. Maybe she can get some tremendous value, and she does. Hits the song. Enchanted Basil. Look at that.
The Basil, the little tech card there. Interesting. Yeah. During your turn, whenever you put a card into the inkwell, you can pay 1 and choose an opponent to discard a card.
Very nice. I like that. I thought that card was going to have much more of a meta-relevant impact, but it seems as if he kind of fell to the wayside. But Sploosh McGoose checks the garbage bin, pulls him out, and puts him into the field of play. I like that tenacity there coming in from Brian. As we'll see if that thing can come to the board now. And there he is. We're playing it.
Maybe.
Maybe not. No.
Double Diablo. He faked us out. As we saw the Basil for a brief second had his moment in the sun. But the Double Diablo, just too juicy of an option with no answers on the board. Only 1 card in hand for Joseph right now. Those Diablos are just going to get so much value.
Maybe he was hoping for another card to ink, because playing Diablo without an inkable probably seems like, okay, what am I even really doing? So that's probably what they were thinking. And now you have this Double Diablo providing a tremendous amount of pressure in lore, and also with their ability to just continue to draw more cards. This is looking pretty grim for Joseph Quigley here. 40 minutes left in the round. The Cursed Merfolk questing for 2. I guess you could just continue to aggressively quest. We have the Rafiki. I call him Crash Out Rafiki, but his actual name is Rafiki. What's his name? Hold on. Don't tell me. Oh man, I lost it, dude. I had it for a second. Rafiki Challenge Man. Rafiki.
Mystical Fighter.
Did you know that? You did not know that.
I have the deck list up right here.
Oh, okay. So you're cheating. I got it. Okay. Cool. Cool. Mystical Fighter. That's pretty cool. I can remember that. Mystical Fighter. 1 cost. Challenger 3. Challenger 2, I believe. He can get up to a total of 3.
Challenger 3. He's a 0-2.
Oh, yeah. Challenger 3. Oh my god. Back to the drawing board, dude.
He takes no damage from hyenas, which we thought might be relevant, but the hyenas never really had the staying power with the Scar and the Shimmering Skies. It never really came to fruition, but they set him up. They set him up for the alley-oop, and the hyenas absolutely fumbled it.
He didn't finish the trio. And that's one take back that I would never give. If someone challenged my Rafiki with a hyena, I'm saying no, dude. You're not taking that back. Good challenge. No damage, buddy. None.
The one time it works out.
You've lost your mind. You think you can just take back. As Basil is up and active finally. Beautiful Enchanted Basil there. Did you get a chance to reveal that effect as well, or are we playing around it? As we are going to get rid of the Cursed Merfolk, no cards in hand. The downside of Merfolk, no cards in hand, no effect. We're just going to clear that guy for free, no damage, as we're still expanding the board. We're at 6-7. So Joseph is kind of still in this thing, surprisingly enough. I thought this game would be absolutely over by now, but he's still fighting for his rights. You got to clear something, 1 card in hand.
Yeah, Brian running out of songs a little bit here, not able to find them, which would help expedite this process. Clearing the board lets your Prince John exert and gain that precious 2 lore that he can quest for, but you do have the Basil now on the board, who has a pretty big body, being a 4 strength, 5 willpower, quest for 2, so you can start getting that lore total up.
And we are gonna go for a 3-piece. We bring out the Fox. We'll bounce the Fox.
Nice.
Oh, we're doing some tempo shenanigans. It's combinations all around. We are going to send back the Diablo back to the hand again to cut off that draw engine for a turn. And now, are you going to quest, though, is the question you must ask yourself. Whatever you quest with, you're probably going to lose in combat. Or is it time to challenge? And we will challenge and banish the Ursula. Just take a little bit of lore off, get a little plus value.
Yeah, I could also go for the Chip here, but Chip is going to take down anything that you challenge with him. Rafiki seems like a pretty good option.
Mm-hmm. And we will go ahead and get the Rafiki as you do a little bit of board maintenance and sending the other two characters here on a quest, getting up to 10. So you're halfway there, living on a prayer, says Joseph Quigley, who Brian is like, okay, now I need to have another dynamic turn. If it's play Diablo Pass and quest, I don't think that's good enough, Garrett. What do you think?
Yeah, needs to. Well, there's another Muses. We'll see if there's a song to pair with it. But I mean, take a look at Joseph. He's been doing his thing, staying patient, playing the game, playing the cards as they come to him, and putting himself in the best position to win. And playing against a deck that removes your hand can be tilting sometimes. But you just got to keep playing the game. And sometimes they won't find it. But here is the Let the Storm Rage On, which is going to be devastating. Getting rid of that Madam Mim, and now you can return 2 cards to the hand with both Muses, so that Ursula and that Kit Cloudkicker can go. The Basil can clean up the Madam Mim Snake, and now you can start questing with the Prince John if you want to, but you got to think about rush characters coming off the top, like Peter Pan.
For sure. And you can ink with your Basil and trigger that effect. Now you have some cards in hand. So that is a nice little comp. Muse Basil. Let's look at that. Let's investigate that little maneuver. A lot of people speculated highly when Basil was revealed that this would be something that you could do. And we're actually seeing it happen live as a bounce with Muses, exert, and now we got another one. Yeah, this game is cooked, man. We might have to just get on up out of here and force a game number 3 as we're completely getting all the cards out of the hand. You could bounce your Prince John if you really wanted to. I don't know if that's necessary. Just to get him back up, right?
Making the Basil work seems like a tough proposition because these Emerald Steel decks, normally they're not inking too awful much. And if you have to ink every single time to activate that effect, it could take a toll on your hand. But when you have Prince John now and discard songs and actions, it becomes a lot easier as Joseph can't even play the card in the hand.
What could it be? What card could possibly exist in your hand that you cannot play or ink in this situation?
You don't want to play. He's got nothing over 5.
Because I'd be so afraid. Because Basil is like gonna get it. Like it's going to be discarded. You know this is going to happen just by simply inking for turn. They're gonna get it from you. What could it be to not be played? A third Muses is too much. 3 arrows is too much. As we're going to resist ourselves. What card? Garrick, what card do you think it is? Quick, before it gets discarded. What card could it possibly be? If you had to guess.
Cricky?
Cricky? I'm playing Cricky.
I don't know. Fox.
Fox. There it is.
Of
we're
course.
Bad. Okay, we're bad. We're bad. I think you still just ink it.
Fox. Yeah,
I'd ink it, man. I'd ink it for sure. I just put an ink well at that point. And
yeah, I think so as well.
And that is going to be a huge questing opportunity, as I think Joseph Quigley's back is against the metaphorical wall. I think this game might be over, as we're going to rip one off the tizzy, and it is going to be pack it up and go to Scoopville right away. As great match from Brian, played it well, found the cards you needed. I'm glad we got a chance to see that Basil Muse combo pop off that a lot of people speculated on. I'd like to hear their thoughts on it as this game has come to an end. But we're going to a game 3.
Game number 3. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love to see it.
As they can bleed, says the Freedom Gaming team, as that is the first loss that the Injured Battlefield crew has suffered this evening. And it just you had to work really hard to get there. Incredible match.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see the tables turn here mightily, as the Emerald Amethyst deck is going to be on the play for the first time in this match, and makes it even more explosive. It makes it even tougher for that Emerald Steel deck to come back into the game if they get off to a hot start.
I mean, if you want a hot start, you're going to probably need a multitude of cursed merfolk, maybe some of those Pegasi that you have in your build as well that we saw earlier. Just the low-cost guys, get those Diablos in early. I'd like to see maybe we saw the Go-Go's coming in kind of haphazardly, just trying to accost those Diablos. They didn't work. Muses were feasting on the Go-Go's, bouncing back to hand. They weren't gaining any lore or anything like that. So maybe I'd like to see more, like you said, a go first on the play type approach coming in from Pandemonium, getting those one-cost characters in abundance as they can do, aggressively quest, and maybe you can just gas pedal this Emerald and Steel player, as I'm sure Brian is going to try to do exactly what they just did. Maybe get a huge Beyond the Horizon play this turn.
Yeah, we want to see a little surfing action for sure. We want to go on a Hawaiian roller coaster ride. I mean, who wouldn't?
I would.
There's no place I'd rather be, JDZ. You know what I'm saying?
Then on a surfboard out at sea. Okay.
Exactly.
That's no place I'd rather go. something. I don't know the word. No one knows the words of the song. Okay. Let's just cut that right there. All right. I search for the sunset beyond the horizon, and I'm canceled. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
But did you see the new movie, the live action remake? Did you get a chance to get to your local theater and watch it?
I have not seen a live action remake since Beauty and the Beast, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea. Love the animated films, but
yep. Yeah, I personally, I'll go there and I will just get disappointed every time. I'll show up to the theater, opening day. I have my bucket of popcorn and hope for the best. And every time I leave, disappointed. That's what happens when you get addicted to magic, dude. When you get addicted to the Disney magic, okay, you just hoping for another hit. And you know it's not going to come. You're chasing the dragon, man. It is what it is. But
I mean, the live action Jungle Book goes absolutely silly. I love that one.
I saw. Is there like two of them? Because one of them I saw, which was the Disney one.
Yeah,
and I saw another one. There's like a super gritty one. That one was kind of legit.
Christian Bale in it. It was directed by Andy Serkis. Shout out Gollum. Shout out Smeagol.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So you know the one I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about.
That one was too legit to quit. Okay.
That was a scary one.
Yeah, the scary one.
You don't show that one to the kids.
No. I did by accident. It was.
You know what else is scary?
The Cursed Merfolk.
Cursed Merfolk. They're cursed. That's scary. I don't want to be cursed.
Yo, why they make Cursed Merfolk so good? Okay, these guys were actually throwaway characters. They were literal goo. Why are they so good? They should be a one-cost inkable 1/1 guy. I don't know. As we got the Flynn Rider. Flynn is in the building as well. So you got all the goo out here. I like this deck.
Yeah, you can go fast, but notably you don't have an answer to Diablo in your hand. So if Diablo comes down next turn, you're going to be in a bit of trouble unless you're able to get into that and get into it quickly, as we're going to quest with a Cursed Merfolk. What do you think here? You put down the Ursula too, try to disrupt that shift line. Maybe they only have one song.
I think you got to do it. You got to roll with the punches, man. Roll the dice, dude. Mama didn't make no wimp, dude. Scared money don't make money. Roll that dice. Shake it. Send that Ursula in there and let's see what you're going to do. Ursula on 2, you can't lose, baby. Or you send that Flynn in. Because maybe they got the one action that they can shift the Diablo with and you can just take it right now. I don't know, but most players, I know Brian's a very good player. They're not going to keep the songs. They're going to send them back. How many cards did they alter? I didn't see earlier on.
Yeah, we were too busy yapping about live action Disney films.
Sorry, my bad. That's
no, I was right there with you.
That's on me. I'll take that.
That's Ursula does come down. Important.
You had to do it. You hit.
Oh, but he had the second one.
Oh, double song. And you got your own Ursula to come back with. So Diablo could potentially shift in next turn. Both of those cards are good, and we are going to hit the Strength of Rage of Fire, which I think is correct. I would like to say to keep that Cursed Merfolk around or make your opponent have to discard another card. I love to see it, as you do have the ability to shift. Do you shift now? Because Peter Pan off the Tizzy is going to be a backbreaker. If we can find,
I'm shifting all day, every day. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm shifting this Diablo. I'm playing out my morph, of course. Morph a card I would love to see make it into the next set.
I agree.
Morph has had a lot of value, but I don't think he's peaked yet.
Yeah, we need more Morph.
There are still higher highs that he can fly to.
I concur. I concur. I think, and I'll double down with that as well. I hope they make another card that's like Morph, but in a different color. Maybe like even if you take like, hey, if you can shift a card has to be like a 5 cost or more on top or something like that. Like make it more wild. I want this Floodborne thing to really be a part of the game. They're leaning into it. They want it to happen. They want the shift thing to be a thing, but they really aren't just go all in on the shift like how they got the puppy shift and they got the hero shift stuff. Let's send it as
There's
we are
Kid
going to.
Kicker.
There he is, sending back the shifted Diablo.
Can shift him again if you want next turn if you have the song, but that might be a little wasteful to use another song to shift out the Diablo. We'll see what we decide to go with here. Could just play it out the good old-fashioned way, but we play an Ursula and no shift. We're going to set the Morph there and let him just sit pretty. Morph is threatening. You could shift into many different things in Emerald Steel, which I think is the color combination that has taken the most advantage of these abilities. Absolutely. You have things like Tinkerbell you got to think about. The Basil is actually a shift for it could come down. You have Beast, you have the Space Pirate. There's so many different things. The Morph sitting there is such a big threat for sure.
Absolutely. As we sent another Ursula in, so we are big city gambling, and you are going to get bamboozled. I like the play coming in from Brian. You play the Ursula just to make them think, and then you can have the opportunity to potentially tilt your opponent when you top deck this strength or top deck this storm. They're going to absolutely lose their mind. It happens to me all the time, and I hate to see it. Watch the Ursula double sync, and I'm cutting the stream off. Stream's gone. If Ursula sinks here, stream's over. Okay, everyone get out of here. You're going home. Let's see it.
With the muses in hand as well would be absolutely just, that would be so rude.
It would be insanity. But I don't think they have it because they would have snapped it already. As we put the Diablo down to the Inkwell, maybe you could set up the muses now. Watch this Ursula double sync. I'm calling it right here. Here it is. Get it ready. Get it ready.
No.
No, okay, it's not going to happen. Whew. I was about to say the tilt was about to take over. As we have that Madam M snake, we have some lore. I think is it time to start questing? I don't know how to play. I don't know how to negotiate these problematic situations here. As we
Turn 5 Elsa would be nuts here.
That'd be huge. To clear this Ursula, that'd be so nice. And you don't have it. You got another kick, which is also quite good. We'll be able to bounce past this Ursula Deceiver all back to the hand and leave that Muses Proclaimer of Hero and Morph Space Goo up and active alone. And you can get some lore in the process. Get another 3-piece, adding up to 8 and kicking it back on over to Brian. Wow. Good turn.
Yeah, the Cloud Kicker is absolutely amazing against the Ursula Deceiver of all. I was playing in a set championships against Kurt Spice. I was playing Emerald Steel, and I was putting Ursula down like everything. He kept throwing. He had Cloud Kicker every turn. I was like, all right, he's got to be out of him now.
Nope. Tough guy. Tough guy.
Another one. Yeah.
He's a tough guy. He's getting inverted, going X Games mode on your characters, bouncing them back to the hand, and this board is starting to expand a little bit as this Morph Space Goo needs to transform here. He's kind of like a Meeseeks. He's been sitting there for so long, untransformed. Something needs to happen. Tinkerbell would be dynamite. 10 out of 10 right now if you can find that to pop this Flynn Rider frenemy. I think that's the name. No, that's a Flynn Rider Dastardly Ne'er-do-well. Oh man, what's his name?
You got it. Charming
Rogue. Charming Rogue. Charming Rogue. There it is. I need a little hint. That's it. Little hint. That's all. I thought it was Daring. Who's Frenemy? Which one is? I know there's a Frenemy. That's the Ruby one. That's Ruby. Okay. I remember Flynn Rider Frenemy.
Yeah, all Flynn's had a spotlight in Disney Lorcana for quite a bit. His own biggest fan, I believe, is the one that Quest for 4, if your opponent has no cards in hand, was just obliterating people during the era that was known as Bucky, Ursula's return. The frenemy, and then of course the Charming Rogue as Ursula just comes back down onto the board.
And if
again,
I think I'm liking that of a nice slow turn. You got all the tempo in the universe. If you can bounce something else one more time, I even take a wrong lever raw here to just put something back in the hand again and just quest the Glimmies one more time as everyone's getting horizontal. We're going all the way up to a 14.
Oof.
We got a wrong lever. This Ursula can't sing.
Yeah, I think if he had an answer to the Ursula, he would have smacked it down. Right now, you need a song if you're Brian, or you are toast.
And we're paying 3. It is gonna be a Madam Mim Fox. We can bounce past the Flynn and redeploy.
That's nice. That's nice. He was hoping he had an extra ink to send a Cloud Kicker back onto the board and all but guarantee victory by sending Ursula back. We'll see if she found something. She's getting sideways. She exerts for Let the Storm Rage on. How big is this move right here?
This might be almost a board clear almost. We pop the Flynn, Charming Rogue. We could pop one of the Cloud Kickers. We can also then bounce another one, or we can double sing, pop 2, bounce. But that's still, is that even that good? Who else are you popping here? I guess you can put 2 damage on someone and send this freaking more Space Goo into combat since he can't transform. He's just sitting there menacingly, which is not good enough. So maybe you can clear another character, bounce the kit. We bounce one kit, pop the other kit. Who do we double sing on?
Do you send the Ursula back so the kit? Yeah, you just send them both back.
Yeah, because you got a double sing.
Yeah, you get the double.
But who got the damage? Who got hit with the?
Flynn got hit and Kit got hit, and then you send both those back.
Gotcha. Ursula and the Kit. Gotcha. Very cool. So nice turn to really seize back some of the initiative that you had lost throughout those initial turns. And this might be the point where Brian can start to turn the corner as you have this Morph Space Goo who's still just kind of resting awkwardly. We're finally going to get this guy into work. It looks like we have a Sudden Chill that he can sing as you're going to
Sudden Chill's not bad. Probably send... Do you send Ursula Deceiver? It's a tough call. I mean, if Brian draws another song off the Sudden Chill, it kind of hurts, but
yeah,
I was considering maybe returning your own morph to your hand instead of Cloud Kicker, so your Ursula doesn't just get bounced, and then your opponent has the opportunity to quest more freely with his Madam Mims instead of challenging the Ursula.
I think you have the opportunity now. If you really want it, you could bounce this. You could bounce this Morph Space Goo right now, or you can bounce your Ursula to kind of keep her insulated as well. But having them challenge into the Ursula is that. I mean, she's already done what you wanted her to do, as we do reluctantly send that Cloud Kicker down to the discard pile. So holding on to the Ursula. Interesting.
Yeah, once the Ursula to grab another potential song, because if the Ursula Deceiver of All sings again, you're really, really in bad shape if you're Joseph, no matter what she sings. And it looks like we're going to sing again Sudden Chill, so you don't even get to keep the Ursula, as we are going to get another card off of the Prince John.
And do you get those muses working, or are you just fine with letting these characters get banished or not engaging with them in any way? Because if I'm Joseph, maybe just start questing for 2 every turn. If that's going to be what they're going to do, is going to reset a little bit of their own tempo, bouncing the Ursula Deceiver ball back to the hand.
Has to have another song in hand, right? Thinking, let me redeploy this and sing it next turn.
I still think if I'm Joseph, I got 2 characters. I probably don't even engage in combat, man. I'm just going to try to quest these glimmers and hope for some goat slash go-go shenanigans that I could probably pull off later on. I'm not sure, but this is looking like Brian's going to turn this thing back around.
Yeah, it's definitely possible as we shift Diablo by discarding a Sudden Chill. We have no cards in hand, so we're going to draw off of the Diablo. I think that was a really smart decision. Just shift it now. Sudden Chill's not doing anything. Your opponent's playing a card every turn. As Merlin Goat comes out. That makes things a lot tighter.
Yeah, I'm jamming this thing up to 17 immediately. I think I'm going to 17. And I think Joseph's agrees. We're going to get this thing up to 17 and try to saddle up this goat and ride this thing on a victory. Another snake, another fox, or something like that.
Strength of a Raging Fire would be insane right now.
Devastation reigns as we kick the Diablo Maleficent Scout on down into the Inkwell. I believe that's her name. Maleficent Diablo. Man, I'm terrible, dude. I'm learning on the fly. Bear with me. That's why I'm doing so much ICL. Maleficent Spy. I got it right. Okay. We got that one right. Oh yeah. That's 2 for 2. Okay.
Let's go.
And this is a problem. This is a problem. If you don't have a song, and even if you did, muses cannot engage with the bouncing on anything on the board. So you're gonna have to get into Mortal Kombat situation here and put these guys into the fight because lethal damage is in play.
On the horizon. There it is. There's no place we'd rather be.
On the horizon. But look, it's not. Is it high impact?
No. I mean, you get to draw 3. It could be. Imagine a Strength of Raging Fire off the top.
That'll be huge. You are digging.
It could be absolutely insane.
Or I think a storm really wouldn't get it done. Strength would be humongous here in this spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever sing it twice with Ursula?
I probably would, honestly.
Give your opponent 3, make them discard,
and then I would have did it. I mean, that's the combo. That's the combo, man. I went full combo there.
That is the combo. Maybe you're hoping to just get,
because you give them 3. You got the Prince John up, so you'd have had way more looks. So you could have got a much better opportunity to get to more songs because you had the Prince John. Oh, there's no way to rinse the hand completely. They would have 3 cards as well. Okay,
yeah, your opponent would have 3 cards, but you need Strength of Raging Fire to
win the game. Yeah, and you didn't get it. Yeah, and you just lose right there. You had to give yourself. I'd like to see what the next 3 cards were. If we could see what those are. I see he's drawing now. If he shows a strength here, yeah, there it is. Oh, so that would have gave you a chance to play on.
I think you had to double sing it there.
Yeah. And we can ask him. I'll let you ask that question as we get into the interview time to talk to these Illumineers. We'll mute ourselves here. We'll hop on into the players
That's
area.
really close. Like, I am actually not sure about that one at all.
Yeah, I think I had to risk it.
Let's go. As Enter the Battlefield gets it done in 3-0 fashion. Pandemonium Heart and Brian Sploosh Magoosh. Yo, congratulations to you, Joseph Quigley, for coming out and playing Pandemonium Heart. Can you take your victory lap? Let's talk about your deck. I was shocked and surprised. I saw Chris coming out with Blurple. I saw that green card go down to the Inkwell, and I was like, oh, clearly he's playing Under the Sea. What made you switch it up? I've never seen you play this deck before. What made you switch it up?
So I had been playtesting this deck a fair bit this format. I almost played it at the 1K a few weeks back. I did play it some in previous sets, notably at a big 5K I went to. I do enjoy it quite a bit, and we kind of felt that looking at what our opponents might bring, that green-yellow might not be it, that it might struggle into a green-steel matchup, for instance. I'd much rather be playing green-purple in this particular matchup. I think green purple might be a bit better position in this set, although I'll never count out green yellow, and Bennett's fighting for us out there. But we thought it would just be a better deck for this particular moment. Chris wanted to really play Blurple. He's really enjoying that deck, and so he played that and roll with it, and green purple worked quite well. It's very enjoyable.
Nice. Can you? I like the deck a lot. It seems really cool. Is there any text that you have in there? And after you talk about your text, can you take us back to that game number 1? That really critical play that kind of came up huge when you left the sudden chill to set up that wrong lever, pull the lever combo. Can you just talk to us about those 2 cards and any other text that you have in this Emerald and Amethyst strategy?
So I think levers are very worthwhile. They can be a bit slow and clunky at times, but I think you need enough draw, and options like Rabbit felt a bit too slow and awkward to me. I was kind of cribbing some notes from some of the CCS lists, I'll admit, and seeing that they were on the levers. I was like, okay, I should try it out. And they did feel good. I did full keep with the 2 pole levers in hand, figuring that I might get the chance to discard 1, have the draw for the second one, and then have a chance to touch that pull lever, and that did end up pulling up. Otherwise, I'd say the list is fairly stock. The one tech that a lot of people are not playing I did try this from the start play CCS list. I apologize, it's skipping me at the moment. But Flynn isn't commonly run right now, but in my testing, I found it to actually be really valuable just as having another cheap tool cluster provides Merfolk. Not so much against Steel, granted, but I like the pressure that he can deliver.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Well said. Well said. But Garrick, I'm sure you're here. I'm sorry. I got key issues. Garrick with me as well, and we both were enjoying the deck. We're enjoying the gameplay. Garrick, you got any questions for Joseph Quigley before we kick it on over to Brian to hear his unique perspective on how that match went?
Yeah, I mean, you asked the big question that I was going to ask, the setup of the pulled or lever and wrong lever. But let me ask you about what's not in your deck, Joseph. Were there any cards at the last second that you were considering that didn't quite make it into the list, and why did you decide not to include them if you had any?
I was playing Big Ursula for a while in my testing. I do think it's a reasonable card, but it feels a bit slow and a little bit clunky at times to land that shift line. In particular, my teammate Habibi was saying how it doesn't really do anything into Amber Steel. He felt confident with the beans he could get around that. Maybe that's Steel Song propaganda. I don't know. Maybe because I'm
It
with that
is.
card. But I found it testing. It didn't come up as much as I wanted it to, and so I ended up cutting that for more lower the ground cards. Like I snuck a Rose in there, for instance, because to have a bit more
Yeah, I
burn.
saw that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I did look at your decks finally because I don't like to look at them when we're playing, but I see you got some cheeky one ofs too. One of Snake is in the deck. One of Rose. Can you just talk about those ratios real quick before? That's the last thing I'll ask before we switch up. Why one Snake, one Rose, two Rafiki?
Rafiki, well, I felt a little bit awkward at higher numbers. I think I like him a lot at times, but you don't really want him that much early. You want to weave him into later turns, and having a lot of him can be a little bit clunky, so I don't like that. Snake can similarly be a bit awkward. I think that's a one or a two of. I think you wouldn't go three for sure. I guess because it's anti-tempo and you're a tempo deck, so you got to use that a bit sparingly, but it can come up clutch. Rose, I guess I debated between one or two there as well. I couldn't find space for the second one. I want it because I want to keep Flynn's. But I guess want a bit more burn, just a bit more. I want more than just four goes for goes.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Well said. Well said. Well said. But you had to play against Sploosh Magoosh and Freedom Gaming, who came out here and tried to get it done. It didn't work out for you on the Emerald Steel. I asked you some of the same questions. Emerald Steel, how's it been performing for you in this early still preset championship set 8? And any spice? We saw the Beyond Horizon come in there, and we saw what are some of the techs that you have for this deck?
Answering your first question, I think the Emerald Steel is probably in the best position it's been in
Oh
since
wow.
the era of Bucky.
That's fair.
Wow,
R.I.P.
hot take.
R.I.P. to the squirrel. But I think it's in a great spot. I had a decision to make between the two of Horizon or two of Zeus, and I ended up opting for the Horizon. And you can see in the last game 3 there at the very end, maybe I should have double sang and dug deeper, and I just didn't want to give him the gas and kind of was hoping to hit off the top, but that's how it goes. Overall, the deck has performed pretty dang well. I think it has a lot of favorable matchups now, and
Mm,
three cost Ursula is still strong as ever. Same with the two cost Ursula, so especially into the Amber Steel matchups. Blurple may have gotten a little bit tougher with the evasive package, but with the Beyond the Horizon kind of being able to have multiple ways to peek at their hand and then singing it all away if you don't like what you see, as well as the one of Basil, uh, especially as a follow up, it is fantastic.
absolutely, absolutely. And we did kind of make some of those statements from the booth if you ever go back and rewatch it. But you have the Basil in there, and I think that card you had full combo, which a lot of people speculated on that. And when that card was revealed, how often do you get that going? I see you have one Basil in the deck. Is that something that you're trying to shoot for, or is just icing on the cake?
uh, I would say it's more icing on the cake. I think Basil is fantastic into the purple matchups, particularly again just as a follow up or being able to shift off of the morph. We're running the 4 of morph. It's an easy swap for one of the Pete Space Pirates, so you don't miss it as much. I don't mind it. It's pretty good, and as you saw in game 2, when it does its thing, does its thing, and it's a pretty solid body and 2 Quester with
Absolutely.
the additional effect. So it kind of puts the opponents on this weird like, hey, I can't hold these cards. I need to ink it. I need to empty out my hand. So it's kind of a double effect of not wanting to hold anything, especially against purple decks. So
For sure.
Basil's great.
Basil's OP. Go buy your Basil today, folks. Garrick, what do you think about Basil? What do you think about Sploosh's deck and his explanation?
Yeah, no, the deck is very cool. I wanted to talk about the Hidden Cove, the Tranquil Haven, if you will. Talk to me about the one of in there. Were you considering more? Were you considering cutting it entirely? How do you feel about it as one of in the deck?
I started the beginning of the season with a 2 of, and I think anybody that plays Cove will tell you it is one of the worst feelings to top deck it later on in the game. Still
Yeah.
probably one of the strongest turn 2s that you can do along with the Shift Diablo. But the one of Cove was more for any sort of expected maybe Amber Emerald matchups where the power differentials might come into play, or if you're expecting a little bit more location heavy opponent. But it again, a one of comes up a little bit less often, but being able to mulligan and with this deck being able to cycle through at a little bit faster pace, you can kind of hit it when you need it. You don't want to cut it entirely, but running 3 of kind of feels bad at the moment. Maybe a 2 of would be fine. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I like it.
Well, it's tough.
I felt similarly. I've been wavering between 1 and 2 in the Amber Emerald world as well, I guess, to find room for other stuff. As more cards get released that you want to include, it's like gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah,
Man,
kind of same thing with the chip, right? Like,
Yeah.
I started with like a 2, 3 of, and now he's kind of down to 1. You just have so many cards, at least leading up into this upcoming rotation, where you kind of want to play it all. But
For sure.
now you gotta mess with the ratios and what's inconsistent, what's more consistent. Just like the one of Snake and the one of Rose, when
For sure.
sometimes you'll hit it and it'll give you that extra oomph and push you over the edge, and sometimes you don't. And I don't feel like I missed it in this one too much. Maybe in that game 1, uh, not be able to protect my Diablos, but that game 1 was kind of over for me pretty early. So
All right, so you guys heard it here from Pandemonium Heart and Sploosh Magoos. Play all one ofs, just a cheeky one of deck through and through, and that's how you become the best.
Highlander,
So
let's go.
Let's go, Highlander only. But we'll kick it off to you, Brian. I got one more question to you, Sploosh, before we go, and we'll
Yes,
do some
sir.
shout outs as well. You had Joseph lined up. You had this Emerald Steel. You saw that green card going down in Inkwell. Did you feel confident that it was on Amber Emerald and you were going to get this dub?
No, I honestly was expecting the dogs or something. If it was going to be
Oh,
Emerald Amber,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because Habibi we had a separate chat last night for the hockey game, and Habibi was playing all sorts of mind games with us, and guessing somehow he guessed our lineup correctly off the rip. Invited the 3 of us, myself, Joey, and Hazed, and he's like, "Oh, you 3 are playing tomorrow, and here's our hockey chat." And so we're
oh,
just
that's
chirping back
hilarious.
and forth.
I swear that was a lucky guess. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't know. Habibi's mind works in ways even I don't understand sometimes.
Yeah. But Habibi's like, yeah, maybe you'll see a Churn of Dogs out there, and I was like, oh man, what I don't know what to. Yeah, Habibi's mind
Man.
does work in mysterious ways, but it was awesome last night getting to talk with the guys. Obviously, a little bit better since the
Likewise.
Panthers won, but the friendly banter back and forth is awesome. ETB is a extremely strong team. Congratulations to them for moving on, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
we are able to hang out and run into each other as maybe we get some DLC announcements, next week, and we can all
Fingers
start
crossed,
hanging
man.
out. JDZ, what do you know?
I can't. Oh, I know every. Hey, we'll hold our secrets. We got one more week of this Lorcana high profile action. I'm sure you guys will be. Everyone's gonna be happy. I think that's all. I can't say anything else. Okay, that's it. That's all I know.
Oh, what a tease!
That's it. That's it. Tune into the World Championship, June 28th and 29th. Okay, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But any other shout outs you want to give Sploosh before you get me kicked off this broadcast?
Freedom Gaming. I love my team. The whole point of playing this game is to hang out with friends and make new friends. It has been an absolute pleasure playing and participating in this very first season of the ICL. And it's been said every single time that we come on here, but thank you so much for the casters, production team, the judges putting in the time. You guys have really, brought a spotlight to the game in these last 6-7 months. It's been that long since nationals. So sincerely appreciate y'all, and tune in on Saturday because Southside Gaming is doing a 4v4v4v4 team tournament, and it'll be streamed. So
That's awesome.
yeah, cool little setup, and I'll be driving down tomorrow. So
let's go. All right, all right. You guys tune into that Southside Gaming on Saturday. Something to do. Something to do. Okay, but we'll kick it on over to you, Mr. Quigley. Go ahead and give your special shout out. You guys got it done. 3-0 fashion. I didn't think it was going to go down like this because I know both of you guys are very strong teams. But go ahead and let's see any shout outs you have or anything that you want to say. The floor is now yours, Mr. Quickster.
Shout outs to my team, of course, Store Until the Battlefield, and the community, the great community behind me here. I guess so thankful for the amazing community we have here. Shout outs to the amazing staff at the ICL for putting on a spectacular league here and start of the playoff season. So much excitement. Shout out to the sponsors, Twin Moon and Endgame. Shout out to hometown boy Connor McDavid in the revenge match, getting it done. But shout out to Florida Panthers for winning the cup. You can take some salass on that one for sure. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, Freedom Gaming. It's been awesome playing you guys and chatting with you guys. You guys have been a great opponents, great match. Love you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think you guys both nailed it. You both said everything that I wish I would have said. But Freedom Gaming, the road ends here. You guys had an incredible season. I look forward to seeing you guys next season in the ICL. I think you guys are going to be a staple of this institution for a long time. And Enter the Battlefield will move on, probably going into the semifinals now. So incredible performance for you guys. I'll be interested to see how you guys finish this season. So gentlemen, have a fantastic evening. We're going to hop back into the booth. We're going to start to close the show. But thank Unmute. Okay. I got there fast that time, Garrett. Did I beat you?
No, I've been here.
Oh, you've been cooking. Oh man, I gotta speed up. I got two screens. I got a double screen thing happening here. But Garrett, we got it done. Enter the Battlefield comes out with the sweep. I did call it. I thought I was going to jinx them, but they came through and they sealed the absolute deal. But Garrett, anything that you want to say? You got some shout outs that you want to give? Where can I find you? I need more Garrett in my life. I'm gonna steal your curls and super glue them to my own head here soon.
I'm growing them out, and I've got some just for you. I'll make a wig,
I appreciate
and we'll be chilling. I'm super excited for the next couple matches in the ICL. We have Ink Thieves, the number 4 seed, going up against SLTC. I believe that stands for Silly Little Tipo Character.
There it is. You nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah, and then we have Select Few going up against Villain Club, and the winner of that match. Listen to me. I know Habibi is a great guy. I know that ETB are all great players over there. They're very nice. Don't join a voice call with them the night before and let him soul read your entire lineup.
There you
don't
go.
Do that. Don't do it.
Just stay away. Okay. Keep your separate locker rooms. I like the camaraderie. I like the team. I agree with you 1,000%, Garrett. You're not getting in and you're not dabbling with the enemy the day before the night happens, because they're gaining information on you. And they came out and they teed you guys up. They had all the right matchups. They had all the right information, and they took you guys right outside and sent you up the river, man. And you hate to see it.
They're not playing Chernodog unless they are. Unless they are. But you can find me at sorry, go ahead. But you can find me at Garrick's Lorcana Lair on YouTube and Twitch. Now I think I'm like partnered now, so I think I earn money on there, and I stream sometimes. Me testing games. I'm an affiliate. I don't know Twitch terms. I'm never on this thing, but I guess I'm on enough to be an affiliate now. So you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. Definitely go over to YouTube and watch the entire story of Disney Lorcana Part 2.
Let's go.
Which is like a 40-minute video all about the story from Shimmering Skies all the way to Reign of Jafar. And it was a lot of fun. And I collaborated with some great creators, JDZ included. Shout out Venturo, the GOAT.
Let's go.
Leading the Illumineers in the charge against Jafar. But yeah, definitely go check that out. Would really appreciate it. Coming up in September, we have the Ink Open, 256 players, big tournament happening. And then we also have a 128 player Infinity tournament happening as well with Fabled. So that should be a lot of fun. But keep it in mind, if you want to come out, you want to fly out, you want to drive out, I can't say too much because we're working on a lot behind the scenes, but we've got a banger lineup of casters. We've got a bunch of stuff in the works for day 1 and day 2. So hopefully we'll be able to announce that soon. But it's already like halfway full. So if you want to come out, definitely sign up and do it.
Absolutely.
Get your spot.
Let's go, man. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna spoil it. I'm coming. Okay,
JDC's gonna be there.
I'm gonna be in the dojo again. I had a blast out there. The last one that we did, the Ink Invitational. Now I want to be there for the first Ink Open, and it's going to be an absolute spectacle. On your screen here, we got a double 1K weekend as well. So if you guys are in the area, okay, Krypton Games in Nebraska, okay, get out there and support and get out there and play. And it was going to be streamed here on Wonder Twitch, or we're going to be on Katie. We're going to be Lore Keepers in. You're going to be locked in and laser focused on this tournament all weekend. So make sure you guys get over here and support. What is it going to be here on Wonder Twitch, Wonderland channel, or is it going to be at okay. It's going to be on Katie's channel. Okay, so Katie, Lore Keepers in, she's going to be broadcasting this event this weekend, double 1K. If you're in that area and you want to participate, I think signups are still open for that. So get over there and play. And if you can't, make sure you check out Katie on Twitch and check it out. Open up all the Twitches and watch everybody all the time. But yo, here it is. So this is what Garrick was alluding to earlier. We are still in the semifinals right now. We'll be back at it on Friday with another match. Unfortunately, I will not be here. I'll be down in Disney, but I'm sure a wonderful, talented cast of characters will be able to bring this to you guys. Select Few Villain Club. That looks like an absolute knockdown, drag out. Ink Thieves versus SLTC. I think that's looking great. And the Lorcana Loungers and Enter the Battlefield will be waiting in the semifinals. I think it's going to be an action-packed, high-profile, nonstop, don't touch that dial kind of thing that's happening here to wrap this thing up. So we will play Friday. There's going to be a break for the World Championship, and then post-Worlds, we'll be back at it again to finish off the semifinals and then crown our first Season 1 ICL champion. It can be anyone's game. I think it's going to be wide open. But Illumineers, this was a great run. It was a great night. Shout out to Into the Battlefield for getting it done. I'm JDZ. I will not be here on Friday, but if you guys want to see me, I'll be streaming again tomorrow on Twitch, and we'll be doing our thing and getting it done. And I will see you guys next time at the Digital Lorcana World Championship, where I will be providing some broadcasts there. So make sure you guys tune in, and I will see you guys all on Friday. Until then, until next time, peace. Hold it. Oh, we're out. Okay. Very cool.